whiskey, coffee black, and my bed at 3. You're too sweet for me. What happened there? Hello, hello. Let me pause the music there. Take off these headphones. How's everybody? How are we doing? Here's a mess, but that's fine. Oops. Let's fix my screen there. There we go, we fixed my screen. I'm coming in really quiet. Oh, yeah, that's because I forget to hold the mic by my face. I'm used to dealing with my laptop mic. So this is I keep forgetting to hold this. It's a lot, so good luck. Oh, I've seen the video. I know what she says in it. I do know what I'm getting myself into. I've just never reacted to it live, so I mean, figure I may as well address the accusations against me by my sister, you know? Relaxing with some Animal Crossing. That's cute. Love that. I'm doing all right. I think this is the earliest I've streamed in a good while. Mark, no, why are you sick again? I'm so sorry, dude. Right before the Christmas season, too. It's like, what, 9 days till Christmas? Oh, it is 9 days till Christmas. Look at that. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Hang on, just clearing out my phone here so it doesn't yell at me. It's going to anyway. I'm on break at work. I want to go home. Mood. I had a whole rant about her racism in VC last night. I went off. The voice chat's open? Shit. It's not actually supposed to be. Oh my god, hi Purple Jacket. Let's guess what it is. Wait, what? Oh, I hate the fact that you share a fandom with Lily. Guess what it is? I'm going to guess Steven Universe. I don't know. Oh wait, she's not in the fandom for that. Has been or hell of a boss. I don't pay it. Oh, not my server. Okay, I got confused there for a minute, Wendy. Hello, Nord. Um, I don't know. I don't pay attention to the what Lily's interested in, to be honest. Hang on, I gotta crack my back. Oh, right, crispy squares. Squares? The squares don't crackle, Lily. Lily? Ew! It's too early in the morning for me. I don't even have my words set. Is this Lily's like the 12 years of abuse one? Yes, it is. Good morning, OO. OO, ooh. And just in case anybody is confused, we're not watching this on Lily's channel. I subverted, uh, I subverted going on her channel and giving her views by just downloading the video off of, you know, when you go and you search up a video when you're looking at a video, it's got that little three little dots. If you click that and you click share, then you get the video link without clicking on the video, and then you can go and download it from YouTube without giving any views or anything to the channel. So, yeah, just in case anybody thinks, oh, Courtney's giving Lily money by giving her views. No, I'm not. I downloaded this bitch. We're watching it off my computer. So this is gonna be fun. Piracy! Yeah, because I'm Canadian and our internet providers don't rat us out for piracy. Let me shift this window over so I can see. Crime time. Listen, listen. If buying is not owning, then pirating is not stealing. It's not a crime. Hello, Tokomari, you just got here. How long is this video? This video is like an hour long. I mean, we'll probably watch the whole thing just for gets and shiggles for me to react to the whole thing because hello Barney the chimp, I remember his name this time. Hi Tottenhams. Um, we'll probably react to the whole thing just because it's more fun that way. And I have no doubt that Lily will make an attempt to copyright this stream, which is like fine, whatever, go ahead. You could try, but this is fair use, and it's also me responding to your fucking allegations and accusations of me, which I have a right to do. So we all know you're gonna strike this or make an attempt to, or at least try to claim it, but that's gonna be a false strike. Oh, do I have a Discord server? Yeah, you can join the Discord. You get the link to join the Discord server when you become a channel. If you become, sorry, not when. That's really presumptuous of me. If you become a channel member, like there's the memberships for my channel. But if you hang around like the streams around the beginning of the month, usually Mark comes in and gifts like 5 subs. Great timing. Was just about to scramble my late work. No idea if my professors are gonna take it. I mean, better late than never. Anyway, we all know that Lily's gonna try and strike this, probably, which that's fine. Oh, Jesus Christ. Mark, you already gifted 5 this month. You just gifted fucking more. Like that, yes. The video gets striked, that means everything you debunk is true. That's the rule. Well, that's funny. It's because I'm pretty sure, is it this computer or is it my other computer? One of my computers, I also have like a good 8-minute clip from Lily's video talking about Stockholm where she says, "Can't do Stockholm." I wrote that one. And I keep forgetting to, but I got to throw that up in another video because if Lily copyright strikes that, then that means uh it's actually her video. It's actually her voice saying "Can't do Stockholm." I wrote that one. So that's her going, "No, it wasn't Clip Chimp together and it wasn't AI because I just claimed it." Oh, Warcraft. Yeah, that's a big fandom though. Um, so yeah, so we'll have fun. We'll have fun with this, I guess. Although the unfortunate thing is I'm probably gonna have to throw it up into members only afterwards. I'm thinking I mentioned it before, but I'd love to see you debunk Lily's media takes, or more accurately, her media literacy, given your experiences with your sister. And I've mentioned before, I think focusing on my sister's media takes are fucking stupid because she's a child predator. We're not gonna sit here, we wouldn't sit here and discuss John Wayne Gacy's fucking, um, painting brushstroke techniques while there's still children disappearing from the area he lived in. So, no, I'm not gonna sit here and talk about media that I don't care about or a person whose media literacy I don't care about, considering she is preying on children. Her media takes don't fucking matter, and they don't need to be given the validity of discussing them or debunking them or talking about them at all, unless you're going to talk about the fact that she uses her media literacy and lack thereof to groom children. So yeah, that's not going to happen. My sweater looks cozy as hell. It is. Surprised she didn't come for Lizzie's throat in this video, despite the fact that she put her in the original thumbnail. Um, so yeah, I might have to throw this up as members only afterwards just because I don't want to fucking have to hand my goddamn address over to Lily just to challenge a fucking copyright strike. No, thank you. She's gonna send Cameron onto my to my door, and it's not my fucking house. And like, there's certain people I care about that don't need to go to prison because some fucking roid raging fucking lunatic who rapes his sister wants to come barging in my door. Okay, so here we go. We'll get this started.
One of those elaborately edited videos that hangs your attention on every single piece.
Oh,
So
yeah,
if you're the kind of person who gets
ugh, God, I fucking
sorry
hate
for
her
the stock
voice.
footage in the background, but this isn't going to be one of those elaborately.
Here's the other thing, right off the fucking hop. Can you guys hear that okay, first of all? I know that was only a couple of seconds of fucking audio there. But right off the hop, sorry for the stock footage. So you used somebody else's work, of a copyrighted fucking, um, IP to make your video. And then you will turn around and try and copyright claim this.
Edited videos that hangs your attention on every single piece. So if you're the kind of person who gets pissy over yapping, I suggest you go jiggle your father's keys to amuse yourself. For those just finding
Also, why is that your go-to fucking answer, Lily? Why is that your go-to insult? Go jingle your father's keys to amuse yourself. Okay, not everybody does in their spare time what you do in your spare time, Lily. Okay, just because jingling your father's keys actually like works for you doesn't mean it works for anybody else. Can I turn the volume up? Yes, I can. Um, yeah, yeah. Not everybody was diagnosed with the mental capacity of a 7-year-old, Lily.
this video because some drama YouTuber just linked to it, my name is Lillian Valerie Orchard. I'm a YouTuber who does media critique that is predominantly focused on characters and themes. I've often gotten a reputation for being negative based on a
No. You don't focus on characters and themes, you focus on your own trauma and using it as a way to fucking subconscious, not even subconsciously, just like subtextually send out signals and fucking feelers. Oh, you connect with my abuse, you feel for my abuse because you've been through similar things. Well, come tell me all about it, child. Not to be phobic, but why is Lily so averse to voice training? I don't know, because that takes effort. Lily is adverse to anything that takes effort.
minority of my videos, but my work actually takes concepts and ideas and unpacks them regardless of quality. I'm also a survivor of long-term physical, emotional, and sexual abuse that went on from my birth until I was about 26.
Your birth. Okay, okay, Lily, please stop trying to be me. I'm sorry. You're sitting here going, it's not possible for Courtney to have been abused as a baby, because I was also a baby. But now you were abused as a baby. Lily, no, you fucking weren't. None of your abuse started until after 7, kid, because our parents were relatively okay with children who were barely ambulatory and didn't have much in the way of emotional or mental needs to be met. Okay? Your abuse, most of what you consider abuse is not actually abuse, although you were abused as a child. The only abuse you did suffer sexually, physically, emotionally, or mentally came after the age of 7. So no, unless you're trying to like subtly admit there that I'm right in my thinking that there's no way Cameron did to me what he did to me without also doing something to you. Because the only one who would have been around you as a baby who has a history of abusing their siblings is Cameron.
This is important to mention because I started my channel in 2009 when a lot of this abuse was
No, you started your first channel when you were 14, not 16, okay? Because your first channel was Rather Vocalized Illusion, which was your zero punctuation ripoff. Because from the time you were 13 and found zero punctuation, you said, and I quote, I want to be like. Is it lagging or is it because I keep pausing it? We're 40 seconds in and I've paused it 4 times. Are we actually lagging? Because like I said, I've paused it like 4 times now. Ball spawn, but the channel is called Rather Vocalized Illusion. Is lagging. It's lagging. Because I have the video paused right now. Let me check on y'all's end. Let me open up YouTube and see what's going on. Give me a minute, give me a minute. I'm just staring at my phone now. I'm so sorry, guys. Lily, you're so insufferable that you're making Courtney lag. That's fucking hilarious. I'm waiting to see if my video lags here. It's probably gonna lag once I start back up the video. The other thing is like this video that Lily did, and there's not much in the way of visuals. It's just like things that pop up every once in a while.
Still ongoing. So I've been working in the public eye and have had my interpersonal relationships scrutinized by the public while I was escaping my abuse and going to therapy and recovering. And I can't claim to have recovered or healed to a significant
Wait,
degree until
hang
I was
on.
28. During that time, many of my old and new
Let's play
because I
that again.
started my channel in 2009 when a lot of this abuse was still ongoing. So I've been working in the public eye and have had my interpersonal relationships scrutinized by the public while I was escaping my abuse and going to therapy and recovering.
Escaping your abuse when you were 16. Lily, you didn't leave the house until you were like 21. So when did you escape? How are you like escaping when the only time you left the house was when there was a court order to put you in a lockdown behavioral facility because you were an unruly, problematic, troubled teen who was a constant runaway? So, where were you escaping unless you're talking about me taking off from our parents' house when I was 17? Okay, you weren't escaping and healing from shit that didn't happen to you while you were still living at our parents' house. Like, where is the fucking logic there?
And I can't claim to have recovered or healed to a significant degree until I was 28. During that time, many of my old and new abusers have used my often erratic and strange behavior as a weapon against me.
Erratic and strange behavior is a weird way to describe grooming a child for 7 years. Erratic and strange behavior is a really weird way to describe writing a child porn fanfic of My Little Pony that spans longer than the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy. Weird and erratic behavior is a strange way to describe flashing your children, or flashing your children, flashing your tits to a bunch of kids on YouTube. Bon, holy shit, you were 17 when you left? I thought it was 19. No, I was 17. I turned 18 on the streets of Montreal. Well, in a shelter in Montreal. I'm not a groomer, just a loser response. Yeah, it's the I was desperate, I was lonely. Like, like, ma'am, ma'am, no. Mm-mm. When you were 16, Lily, let's see what was going on at 16. I was 15. It's a hard year for me to remember. That is a really hard year for me to remember, actually.
I have also been stalked incessantly on the neo-Nazi forum Kiwi Farms and have had my address leaked in multiple places and have even been assaulted in real life. Though I have
Lily, your address isn't online. Your address has not been leaked, okay? Um, you can't call somebody tracking your public online interactions and dealings as stalking, okay? Because if somebody is stalking you by doing that, then your local fucking needs convenience store is stalking you by having you on video camera footage because you walked past their property. Okay? You can't go out into fucking public and be like, no, you're stalking me because you witnessed what I did in public and took a picture of it. Bitch, you're in public. It's the fucking internet. That's not stalking. It's called observing the fucking information that you decided after review was worthy of clicking upload. It's like those people who like sit there and cry on camera and then upload it to TikTok. Like, bitch, you know you sat there talking about this 5 or 6 different times before you finally got a take that you wanted. So sure, okay, go off, queen.
no proof the assaults happened that wouldn't be extremely invasive to show. Over the years,
I have no proof the assaults happened, aside from what being extremely invasive to show. Okay, but like what? Like what you've already said you've been stalked and harassed. You've already said that your address is put out in multiple places leading people to come see you. What's left of there that is invasive to show? What is left? If you've got literally anything like from a police report to a fucking hospital paperwork, you can block out sensitive information and still show that. If there's court documents because this person went to court or whatever, there would be paperwork you could show. You could literally expose that person for the convictive crimes that they apparently did to you, but you don't because you can't. Just like you can't even show like any sort of instance where some apparently your address has been leaked. Like where's your address been leaked, Lily? Other than the people that you've told it to yourself, where's your address been leaked? Because I can promise you it's not on the internet. Because people who are looking to send you cease and desist letters come to me for your address. Because I have it. And it's not through Google. But sure, your address has been leaked on the internet. Okie dokie. You've been stalked and harassed and assaulted, but you can't prove it because that would be too invasive. You flashed your tits on a YouTube live stream. You talk at length about all of your trauma constantly. You literally have no secrets to the point everybody even knows that you're a pedophile because not even that's secret. Not even your fetishes and your sexual proclivities are secret or private. The fact that you abuse your so-called wife is not a secret or private or something you hide. So, like, what's left? Are you secretly hiding that you're a good person? Because I really fucking doubt it.
my abusers, which include former friends who I broke things off with because they were abusive, have tried to deplatform me with increasingly extreme accusations, right up to weaponizing the right wing's rhetoric about trans people and even policing my ethnicity. For the most part, I've
Nobody polices your ethnicity, Lily. You're fucking white. We're sisters. We have the same full biological parents. I have more of a connection to our fucking family's heritage than you do. You're white, bitch. Nobody's policing your ethnicity because the only ethnicity you have is a white bitch. And guess what? I get to say it because he was my grandfather too. I'm the one person on this planet that can fucking say it, is you are a white bitch. You have the same skin color as I do. You're not white passing, you're not reconnecting. You're just cosplaying as a Cherokee princess because you're a racist fuck and you think that hiding behind a shield of being a person of color is going to distract from the fact that you're a fucking pedophile.
attempted to simply ignore these things and move on with my day. But after
When have you
12
ever been
years, it's
tempted
reached
to
the
ignore
point I
anything?
can't just ignore it anymore and decided to unpack all of this harassment. Granted, this video isn't going to cover everything. It mostly covers the accusations of me being a groomer, the accusations my sister has made, and
So 12 years, but I've only been speaking for like one calendar year. Like I've only been speaking about you publicly on YouTube for a calendar year, Lily. Everything else has been directly specifically to our mother on Facebook and Facebook only. So where have I been doing this for 12 years? You also say I do this for clout, which is really funny because you'd think if I was doing this for clout, I would have started saying this when you were popular. You know, around the Steven Universe time when like most people know you from, where I still existed, when I still thought that I had a brother. You were so popular, you were so famous, you had such a career that was so fucking enviable that I didn't even know you existed. I didn't even find you looking for you. I was looking for mom, and I stumbled across your pedophile shit, which was which was Encyclopedia Dramatica, and then Stockholm in that fucking order. And by the way, I lost my train of thought. Like, oh, I started this channel when I was 16. No, you started it when you were 14. 16 is around the time you made the joke of having a hot sister is like having $19 in your bank account. Oh, also, by the way, hang on, let me go back a second in this video.
Friends who I broke things off with because
Shit,
they
I went
were
back a little too
abusive
far.
have tried to deplatform me with increasingly extreme accusations, right up to weaponizing the right wing's rhetoric
Increasingly
about trans
extreme? No,
people
the
and even
claims have been that
policing
you
my
groom
ethnicity.
kids
For
from
the
the
most part,
get-go.
I've attempted to simply ignore these things and move on with my day.
You've never ignored it. You've been shit-talking Brits, and she's been like, telling people what you did.
But after 12 years, it's reached the point I can't just ignore it anymore and decided to unpack all of this harassment.
After 12
Granted, this
years,
video isn't going to
aka
cover
when Courtney
everything.
finally
It mostly
started
covers the
talking.
accusations.
Look at this picture. I know it's hard for you guys to see because I have this thing filtered to shit um on the transition video, so it's like hard to see. But this is a picture of a woman brushing her cats. That is literally Lily taking a page out of Colleen Ballinger's book. I haven't groomed anyone except my 2 cats.
Of me being a groomer, the
Also, if we're gonna talk about this little fucking Lele edit, um, Michaela needs to work on her tracing skills, okay? She really should have brought the hairline way the fuck down to compensate for the fact that Lele's character design is done with bangs in mind, okay? So just because there's this much space for Lele's bangs doesn't mean the hairline is actually back here. And if Michaela had any sort of fucking anatomical knowledge on how to draw, she would have known that and would have brought that hairline further down so it was less of a straight line and more of an actual fucking hairline. If you're going to have somebody trace over someone else's work and then try and turn that into my puppet, Lily, at least pay somebody to do it fucking properly.
accusations my sister has made, and someone's weird tangent about my heritage. If you're here asking about Madhouse or Iris
Incest. Incest. Incest.
and Kira or Scars or whatever other project you found in my back dumpster,
Or whatever other project you found in my back dumpster. So she's trying to say this is in the back dumpster, and this is in the back dumpster, and this is in the back dumpster, as if you are still, like, currently writing vignettes for Iris and Kira.
you're gonna have to wait until another time. This is the important shit. If
Another
you're here
time,
expecting
which
an
is never.
apology for me being rude to you personally, well, it is actually here. Skip to the conclusion. Most of this video is taken from the videos of Ethel Thurston, with additional videos by I Love Kim Possible a Lot and Courtney Pete. I will not be showing clips unless they're especially relevant, but I will have the video.
I won't be showing clips. I won't be showing proof. I won't tell you where you can find proof. I won't give anything to corroborate my fucking story whatsoever. You're just gonna have to take my word for it, bro.
Video we're discussing here, and the timestamp in question just underneath it. And just because I know someone will ask, I'm going to put the music down here. Some of these videos contain references to other videos or claims I won't be covering, which will not be acknowledged. Like I said, this is important stuff. You can find all or most of the links down in the description below, so if you want to just poke through this stuff yourself, you can go right ahead. And fair warning, I'm not going to be diplomatic about this. I am very angry that I've been lied about and harassed for.
I'm so angry. Lily's so angry. So I find it really funny. She's like, so you're gonna hear a lot of other accusations in this shit, and I'm not gonna talk about it because I said so, and I'm not gonna be diplomatic because I angry. Okay, so thank you for establishing this as you stamping your foot and throwing out your toddler tantrum because somebody had the audacity to say, hey, sexting and grooming and fucking being sexual with children is wrong, you degenerate fuck.
This long, and I fucking deserve this.
No. Oh, who cares about Mad, to be honest? Who cares about Mad? Lily spent so much time on this because fucking... Oh, that's where she wants to talk about me.
At 1/4 blood quantum. That is the entire purpose of blood quantum. So this person recognizes that and then proceeds to just spend the next majority of this fussing over my fucking blood quantum. And here's a take from 5 years ago, let's act like that still matters. They then proceed to nitpick the color palette of my puppet.
Here's a take from 5 years ago, let's act like that still matters. But Lily, you act like everything I said fucking years ago matters. You act like everything that I ever did or said years ago matters. You act like something that I am the one who is admitted to doing it long before, like, how many years ago was it when I was like, I'm 31, so this was like 6 years ago. Like 6 years ago, I got into a fight with a meth head and I won, and then I talked about it 5 years after it happened, and then you want to see that means Courtney's a horrible person. So if opinions from 5 years ago don't matter, why do actions from 6 years ago matter? Also, the only reason anybody ever talks about blood quantum when they're talking about you is because you rely so fucking heavily on it, and it's really funny to pretend that you don't. You want to sit there and go, my mother said I'm the one who got the native gene, and I have more native genes than my other siblings do, and I'm more native than my siblings are. Yeah, that's blood quantum rhetoric, you stupid fuck. Thinking that being native pertains to genetics at all is a blood quantum rhetoric, Lily. So every time you say you have the quote unquote native gene or you're more native than your siblings is literally you spouting blood quantum. When by the actual metric, I have more of a right to claim any sort of heritage from our grandfather because I had the decency to go ask our elder about it. You know, the person who helped him reconnect. And you know how I know that happened? Because I fucking spoke to her.
which is light skinned, just like I am in real life, but
No,
apparently it's
girl.
not the
You're not light skinned. You're rice skinned. You are white skinned. Caucus. You are a Caucasian child. Where's my fucking lighter, yo? We're not really gonna spend much time talking about Lily's fucking quote unquote nativeness or anything, but like, honey, you white. You're newfie. They're literally as white as you can fucking get in Canada.
exact hex code people want from me and then bitch about the fact that the puppet wears feather earrings. I like cute, tacky things like fuck you. The last
I like cute, tacky things like fuck you. No, Lily, it's the fact that you go, I'm so native, I have feather earrings, and I'm so native, I have dream catchers everywhere, and that's just so native, guys. I bought things. I contributed to capitalism, guys. I'm so native.
claim this person makes is that I have changed my tribe my family comes from and that my grandfather wasn't Cherokee. They get this
He wasn't.
information from Courtney, who is just making shit up. My grandfather is Cherokee. You could Google him. It's on.
Lily, I don't have to Google our grandfather. I can ask his eldest daughter. I literally went to the woman who helped him reconnect that you respect so much and said, hey, what tribes did Hank come from? And it's Iroquois, Sauk, and Fox. No Cherokee. The only reason that you can find shit about him being Cherokee on Google is because it was written by people who did not fucking know the man. People like you, for example. You would write something like this and then say it corroborates what you're saying when I literally got it from the horse's child's mouth where he came from. So, yeah, I'm going to trust the man's daughter more than I'm going to trust Google. And it's a little fucking pathetic that you had such a close relationship with your grandfather that you have to Google him.
Everything that mentions him. There are news articles about him. There's no doubt that the family claim is Cherokee.
It's not Cherokee. You're just too fucking stupid to know anything, okay? The Iroquois people are largely extinct. It is incredibly, like, difficult, if not impossible, to find ancestors to reconnect with. So most people who are trying to reconnect through Iroquois roots have to go through Cherokee fucking channels because it's the most closely related peoples that still fucking exist to this day. And again, you don't know anything about native culture. You don't even know which peoples have been fucking wiped out into extinction. Jesus Christ, Lily, by your fucking, by your accounts, by your knowledge, by your metric, the only people, native people to ever exist were Cherokee people. Like, no actual native, like, I say that no actual native person, like, no native person would accept you, Lily. No community would accept you because you're so horribly fucking disrespectful that you just erase millions of people's existence to prove yourself right. You know who does that? The alt-right. People who don't like transphobes. Your brother who refuses to even teach your quote unquote niece and nephew that trans people even exist. You think it's a you posture as if it's him respecting your pronouns. No, he just doesn't want to sit down and tell his children that trans people exist. So it's easier to have them believe you're a cisgender woman. That's erasing your existence, Lily. That's saying you're not good enough as a transgender woman. You're either a real woman or you're not. And according to Cameron, you're a hormonally imbalanced crossdresser. He just doesn't want to have to explain that to his kids.
So Courtney accusing this of being a lie is itself a lie. All of this person's information just comes from Courtney, who they are taking at face value based on what?
The messages that I showed them from our aunt. The words from the horse's mouth about where her heritage comes from.
Well, given the fact that they devolve really hard into complaining about how I lose my temper with people who bother me about this, they're essentially claiming you didn't keep your cool under years of harassment from invasive randos, therefore you're sus.
No, no, Lily, I literally went and asked our aunt, where did Hank's heritage come from? And she said, hey, cool, he'd love that you're trying to reconnect and learn more about his heritage. Here's where he came from. It's not even Iroquois. It's like the Iroquois. There's another name for it. It's like Haunasudan. I cannot pronounce it, and I butcher it every fucking time. Um, but yeah, no, the man was Iroquois, Sauk, and Fox. And that's the other thing, is that you're sitting there going, oh, he's just Cherokee. He was just Cherokee. He was just Cherokee. In this day and age, Lily, there are very, very few amount of native peoples who hail from one fucking heritage and one heritage alone. And that's because of white people and assimilation that you're so pro and so for and think everybody should just assimilate. That's thanks to fucking Christian fucking schools where they took native kids from their families, shipped them off to Christian schools to have nuns beat the savage native out of them, quote unquote. And that's where a lot of people started hooking up from different tribes because they've met and they fell in love. And then they taught their kids their fucking culture and their heritage, despite the fact that a bunch of white people like you tried to beat it out of their children.
And hanging on the fact that I have feather earrings, like they're clearly bothered. They're clearly bothered about me, and so are taking people at their word if they...
A lot of people are very bothered that you are cosplaying and disrespecting an entire fucking existence because you want to hide the fact that you're a pedophile online. Yeah, people are pissed off about that. Everybody within their right mind is pissed off about that, Lily, because you're a pathetic little fucking white girl cosplaying as a Cherokee princess because you think that's going to hide the fact that you diddle kids, that you want to diddle kids, and that you try to diddle kids. You are the embodiment of the new fucking saying, if Diddy did diddle dudes, how many dudes did Diddy diddle?
Reaffirm Mad's narrative. This is why they straight up lie about my grandfather's tribe, because 90% of their claim I'm faking is based on blood quantum.
No, it's not, Lily. Anybody talks about blood quantum is talking about it because you fucking rely on it so heavily. We're gonna skip through this. There's still so much about the fucking native thing. Oh, there's him talking about Brit. Oh, this one's so funny. I fucking love this. It's just straight
Accusations
lies.
carries less weight than her making them because she just decided that was the case. She then decided to offer to mediate a call between me and Courtney, and are you fucking kidding me? Oh, level to which they are false. So when KP said that nobody would hear her out, she lied. KP straight up lied. She even tries to gaslight Sketchy by claiming he's choosing his own personal comfort.
She didn't gaslight Sketchy. First of all, because it's funny how Sketchy will sit there and be like, the ethical thing for me to do would not be to talk about someone behind their back. As I said before, I would have done the same thing if someone asked me about you. Sketchy, you ran to Lily to go talk about KP behind her back. My audio's cutting in and out. It's probably because I'm dropping my mic. But like, Sketchy's sitting there going, I'm not going to talk about you behind your back, and then literally runs to Lily to go talk about KP behind their back. So, uh, no, that would be Sketchy being proven a liar, you stupid shit. Like, Lily, I'm having a hard time want to believe, like, deciding on whether you're actually that stupid or whether you're just that delusional that you really think you're that stupid.
Nope. No, he wasn't. He would have had this conversation if I was present. Something he would have also done if she had been accused of something or someone approached her. Sketchy
Lily, you won't be
refuses
present for
to
the
talk
conversation.
about a friend behind their back,
And then goes to talk about a friend behind their back.
which is a perfectly fine boundary to have. KP then goes on to show a recording of her confronting me about Courtney. Minor correction, this happens before the sketchy DMs, but I'm not going to go back and rewrite this section because I'm disrespectful like that.
There's Lily in a nutshell. I got something wrong, but I'm not gonna go redo it because I'm disrespectful like that.
Where she confronts me about Courtney's accusations, among a few other things, but this is the only important.
No, she doesn't. She talks to you about Stockholm, you stupid shit. I literally listened to that entire call. She literally came to my DMs the second she was finished with that call. She was in my DMs before she made that call. Lily, I knew that call was happening before you did. I knew that call was being recorded. And she, like, as soon as you hung up, she's like, all right, well, I just got off the call with Lily. Do you want to hear it?
I deny the accusations and point out how Courtney has been on a transphobic poison-spitting brigade.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Oh, are there dates on this? Are there dates? No, no, of course there's no date on
Which
this.
I have screenshots for. KP's counterpoint was...
Context. I had very early stage cancer in late 2022. It wasn't a major alarm and I'm fine. Courtney is accusing me of lying based on nothing. She is reflexively screeching. She needs to paint me as a pathological liar so nobody will believe me if I talk about her abuse. Lily, you had like a decade to like slander me, which you've done multiple fucking times and never once talked about your so-called abuse. You've mentioned multiple times that a teacher apparently abused you, but I've never come up. And it's not until I start talking about how you abused me that suddenly it's like, oh yeah, Courtney raped me. And I didn't accuse you of lying based off nothing, Lily. I accused you of lying because you have a track record of lying spanning from like 7 years old.
And you're gonna love this. The accusations were too severe for someone to just lie about.
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
KP, people have made worse accusations about you. Never.
Lily, nobody accused KP of raping their sibling in their sleep or molesting their sibling in their sleep for years or trying to groom their sibling or trying to impregnate their sibling. Like, there's a lot of shit you've been accused of by me alone that nobody has accused KP of. That very few people in the fucking world get accused of because it's not something people lie about. Typically. Yeah, there's freaks out there who lie about all kinds of shit. But just about every time you hear of incestuous abuse, it's not a lie. Because that's not something anybody wants to pretend to be. Nobody wants to sit there and be, I'm the girl with the two pedophile siblings who raped me as a child. That's not a badge of honor because it comes with you have two fucking pedophiles for siblings who raped you as a child. It was slave labor, not rape. People said worse things about you, KP. No, people got their panties in a fucking twist because they didn't like KP anymore. And that's the kind of shit that you do. Like, Lily, you think that's the measure of somebody's character is whether they're or not they are your friend. Guess what? Your personal opinion about somebody is not a measure of their fucking character. Just like the fact that I don't fucking like Brit and I think she's an absolute cunt is not a measure of her character as a person. It just means I personally don't fucking like her. Doesn't mean she's a bad person just because she's not friends with Courtney Pete. Same with KP. KP is not a bad person just because she's not friends with you anymore, and that apparently seems to be your metric. Your judge of somebody's character is whether or not they kiss your ass. And I heard that entire call with KP. She barely brought me up at all. I was brought up barely towards the end of the phone call, and most of the conversation was about Stockholm, about the fact that you wrote a fanfic about My Little Pony that was child porn. And then I came up at the very end. So, like, you have to sit there and you have to lie about what you're even accused of because you can't even face your accusations at face value because you're so fucking scared of the truth.
Never mind that trans people get accused of preying on minors all the time. Never mind that when you don't have a significant social media presence, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain by doing it. Never mind that this is literally policy in some states. KP decides.
Wait, what? What did you even say?
Things, but this is the only important part. I deny the accusations and point out how Courtney has been on a transphobic poison-spitting brigade, which I have screenshots for. KP's counterpoint was, and you're gonna love this, the accusations were too severe for someone to just lie about.
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
KP, people have made worse accusations about you. Never mind that trans people get accused of preying on minors all the time. Never mind that when you don't have a significant social media presence, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain by doing it.
Okay. If you don't have a significant social media presence online, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain by doing it. Would it be groom minors or would it be accuse somebody of grooming minors? Or are you trying to say that Courtney's a loser and that's why she said transphobic shit was to get attention? What? Excuse me, what? Lily, if that were the case, I could just talk about you grooming kids without saying you abused me. It's pretty easy. Like, if all I wanted were clout chasing, I'd sit here and be like, yeah, Lily's totally a pedophile, and I never would have brought up the fact that you abused me, because my abuse really does not pertain to much of anything other than connecting the dots. Other than the fact that you based your fucking child porn off of what you did to me as a kid. So, like, yeah, if I just wanted to clout chase, I'd be hopping on your media takes, which is the most thing that, like, just about what most people pay attention to.
Never mind that this is literally policy in some states.
That's the one I'm so lost on. Never mind, this is literally policy in some states. What, the trans people groom children online? What are you talking about? You also don't live in the States, you stupid bitch. You're Canadian. What does that even mean? Never mind that trans people get accused of grooming preying on children all the time, and this is policy in some states. You should have rewrote the script, Lily. Not even because you're sounding disrespectful, you're sounding like a stroke victim.
KP decides my denying of the accusations carries less weight than her making them because she just decided that was the case. She then decided to offer to mediate a call between me and
No, that's not what she said at all.
Courtney, and are you fucking kidding me? Oh boy, yeah, I sure would love it if the Queen of the Lollipop Guild organized a call between me and my abuser, like we're on an episode of fucking Smiling Friends, just because she's a gullible shit with all the political awareness of a drunk sparrow in a rave.
What does political awareness have to do with anything? Like, what do politics have to do with anything? Are you stupid? Lily, why are you throwing shit in that has nothing to do with what you are talking about? Are you fucking dumb? I'm losing brain cells just trying to figure this out. What does her political knowledge have to do with mediating a call between me and you? It's like, what?
Fuck you. Some people were
Listen. We all know you wanted in KP's pants so badly, that's why you started dating Michaela. We all know you are so pissy about losing KP because you really thought you were gonna get another fucking artist in your bed. Quote unquote. Bed. I use that term loosely. It's probably just a pile of fucking mush. Dirty, pissed on clothes and old food. I don't feel comfortable. Oh, this is.
surprised at how abruptly I ended the call when KP said she wasn't comfortable with the accusations made against me. I just said, alright, bye, and left and blocked her on everything. Simple reason for that, I don't want to be friends with anyone who believes any of this garbage. And that's something I'm
If you ever believe a bad thing about me ever, I don't want to be friends with you. Lily, just like you really just said, oh, she's yapping about KP. You literally just said, I want friends who never question me ever.
entitled to do.
That's
I
not
didn't
a
yell, I didn't scream, I didn't call her any names, I just said bye and left. You're not comfortable being friends with me because of the accusations made against me? Fine, bye.
No, Lily, she wasn't comfortable with the fact that you refused to talk about any of it, all right? A friend who's simply not comfortable with the accusations would have just cut you off and not said anything. KP gave you the benefit of the doubt and gave you a chance to tell her your side of things, and you outright fucking refused. And while she was in the middle of saying, listen, I'm not comfortable with this if you're not going to talk about it, like, I need to know a little more of what's going on. I need this, like, I'm not comfortable with things how they are. And instead of even letting her finish her sentence, you cut her the fuck off because your little fucking pride was hurt and you went, okay, fine. And I don't want friends that are ever going to question me. If KP was simply uncomfortable with the accusations, she would have listened to everybody who told her to cut you off long before and just done so. But even after talking to me, even after hearing everything I had to say, she was still willing to let you say your side of the story. And you just outright refused. You just went, no, I'm not going to talk about it. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. You sat there going, I'm not comfortable discussing this, but her not being comfortable with being left in the dark is that's so horribly abusive of her.
I'll set whatever boundaries I want, thanks. It wasn't that quick, honestly. The fact that for a while KP would jump into my streams and immediately ask to self-promote before even engaging with the conversations always rubbed me the wrong way. But I mean, she did at least ask first, so I guess I can't hold it against her. And you can go back over the podcast we did talking about personal trauma where I bring up most of this stuff and she's just kind of disinterested in anything that isn't about her.
That's because she had to listen to you fucking laugh and make jokes about Michaela fucking disclosing her trauma. Michaela sat there and talked about how she had apparently been sexually abused, and you laughed and went, oh, so you basically had a straight cis boyfriend. Like, Michaela's talking about what she believes to be, the reason I'm saying this is because I wasn't there for Michaela saying this. I wasn't there for her experiencing it, so I'm gonna use broad fucking legally fucking safe language here. So Michaela's sitting there describing what she believes to be, and she very much feels to be a sexual assault, and your response is to fucking laugh. Plus, you came on a fucking stream that was not supposed to be about talking about info dumping trauma, and then you and Michaela just start info dumping trauma out of nowhere. You kind of got to give people a heads up for that. Not everybody wants to sit there and listen to you talk about your trauma, Lily. It's called time and fucking place, and you don't know it.
Kind of accepted that. I mean, it's not that KP was a shitty friend, it's just she was just kind of there, and it was just something that made cutting the thread upon KP crossing my strictest boundaries easier to do. This isn't even to call KP a bad person for being an aloof, self-centered
Has PTSD, and that makes you odd in the head. I've been the same way since my rapist rolled back into town. So now we're weaponizing somebody's diagnosis against them, but oh, heaven forbid if you do that to Lillian. Lily, you had oppositional defiant disorder, you had conduct disorder, you had the mental capacity of a 7-year-old, you had high-end autism, you had Asperger's, you had ADD, you had ADHD, you had bipolar, you had general depression, you had generalized anxiety. If we're going to go by stereotypes of somebody's diagnoses, Lily, you can't even form a functional thought. I'm pretty sure anybody who's had sex with you has committed a fucking crime because I think you're legally incapacitated to the point you can't give consent. You're literally not cognitively functional enough to give consent. I'm surprised you can make your own medical decisions. I'm surprised they let you cross the street by yourself. Do you need a helmet and floaties so you don't drown in your cereal in the morning?
Weirdo who's always disassociating. It's just that all that stuff made me realize I wasn't really gonna miss her. KP ends her video claiming I can't debunk this because she uses hard evidence. We've gone a bit into why she hasn't, and more's to come.
No, you didn't.
But in general, you should always be...
You didn't go into anything at all, Lily.
extremely suspicious of any accuser who tries to convince...
We've already gone through this. It's been 14 fucking minutes. No, you haven't. You didn't go through anything. You just said KP has no proof. Trust me,
you
bro.
not to listen to the accused's response. There's red flags.
Not to listen to the accused's response. She literally called you and said, hey, what is your response to this? And you said, fuck you, no.
And then there's red flags with an air raid siren and flashing lights.
Yeah. And the fact that you refused to even respond is the air raid siren with the flashing red lights. I'm really using reactive abuse.
Okay, so
wrong.
Brittany's been having a fit for the last decade, but all of her issues with me were summarized in her section of this one video. So we're going to use that. Brittany accuses me of harassment, coercion of sex acts, accusations of a sock puppet, and accuses me of being attracted to minors and animals. Animals? That's a new one. Anyway, when
No,
Brittany
it's not.
makes...
Girl, in this video, you show the fucking picture of you surrounded by dog cocks, and all you do is blur out the cocks. That's a new one?
all these claims, she proceeds to say that the chats are lost. How
No, she
convenient.
doesn't.
You're gonna
She
see a lot of
never
that, by
said
the
they're
way.
lost.
Except not really, because she actually does show...
Lily, this is you screen clipping the chat logs. She also never said that they're lost, alright? Somebody else said that about some other logs they had of your interactions with them, and it wasn't Brittany. And you're the one who screen capped these. You're the one who cropped the names out, because like literally you even show in the like, hang on a second. Let's do a thing. Let's 4159 and why I'm no longer friends with Lily Orchard is the video. That's what we're gonna go look at. We're gonna go see what these fucking screenshots actually look like. Not to mention they're in the June the King video too. Because this is how Lily presents evidence. This is how brainwashed her following is, that is right there and they won't even go look. Alright, oh, come on. Wait a second. I can't type. Come on. That's not what I wanted. Sorry, guys. I've got too many screens going on here. I need... She's supposedly moving in with Lily. Yeah, I'll believe that when I see it. I'm just going to throw this up over top of everything for now. So the timestamp was 41:59. All right.
Trying to...
Oh, KP, why did you do that?
She used that to her advantage. Stances.
Where did she ever say?
You guys were talking over Skype.
Yeah. Like I said, it's hard to keep this stuff straight because I was going through some shit at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to keep it
So,
straight.
Lily got me at a very vulnerable time in my life. My home situation is in my chat logs. It was just sexual. It's hard to give a specific example for that. Like, a lot of it is in my chat logs. It was just a constant,
in my chat log.
or near constant, her
Okay, so they are like that in the video. KP, why'd you do that? No, that's not the screen I want up. No, thank you. Chat's gonna lag. So yeah, that's what they look like in the video. But Brit also has links to Google Docs, and the Google Docs have all the logs in them, like with the full fucking name. And I'm pretty sure the Google Docs are linked under KP's video. I should fucking scrounge up my links and put them under this video when I fucking let it go. Also, I'm lagging bad. That's because I was out of OBS. But I don't have the logs. She never said that. She said it's hard to keep everything straight in the logs because there's so many of them.
Chat logs, allegedly of me and her, with the ends of our surnames to identify us, using it as proof.
Passes around the fucking Google Doc, which has all of the screenshots of all of the fucking chat logs, and they have your full name in it, Lily. It doesn't just say Pete, it says Jerry Pete, because that's who you were at the time when you started talking to Britt.
Roleplay being.
And it doesn't just say Johnson, it says Brittany Johnson, it says your full fucking name.
A cuddle. But what's even better here, is that her screenshot, it shows her initiating it. She accuses me of prompting an unwanted snuggle, and then the screenshot is of her prompting the snuggle. I have to laugh, because if I don't laugh, I'll cry. Especially with this next one, because it actually visibly made me angry. Brittany brings up a claim about a sock puppet account, and accuses me of using it for coercion. The chat logs of this account are shown multiple times, but they have no name, no profile picture, and no timestamp.
Lily, stop acting like you don't know how Messenger works. The name is at the top of the chat because you open up the chat with people on Messenger. This is how Facebook Messenger works, okay? Just because the platform was different when you were sending these messages doesn't mean that they don't update, okay? And if anything, that adds legitimacy to Brittany's claims, because that means these screenshots are conversations she still has in her fucking Facebook account and on her fucking Messenger, because the fucking chats have updated to the new Messenger platform. Is it disappearing sometimes? Why are we doing too much? I'm dropping like 11% of my frames. What do you mean you can't hear me? I'm like right here. Someone passed me the links to the Google Docs. Yeah, you probably can't, you can't post links in the, Okay, bye, Cinnamons. Well, what percent of people who know Lily's existence are her supporters at this point? I feel like most people hear about her for the first time and in the context of her toxicity and her crimes.
This is what Brittany uses to accuse me of pedophilia. When someone else makes an accusation with no proof, Brittany will go, I can confirm this, here's her sock puppet account. This is my first time seeing her proof, and it's fucking nothing. I don't even know what program this uses. It's literally nothing. And this is what's being used as proof that I'm some super predator? Are you fucking kidding me? This is the most...
No, Lily, it's all the child porn that you wrote, and it's the amount of kids who have come forward, or the amount of people who have come forward after like 19, after they turn 18. It's the kids that come forward and go, so yeah, Lily sexually fucking groomed me for years.
Amateur hour shit show of a fucking interview I've ever seen. For 10 fucking years I've had people accuse me of craven shit, and this is their fucking source?
So for 10 years people have been accusing you of shit and you quote unquote haven't looked into it? Now, of course, she's already established this is going to bring up stuff that I'm not going to address, which includes Stockholm, which is like one of the biggest fucking red flags about you, Lily. And it's not just Stockholm, it's Whatever other project you dug up from my back dumpster. Oh, so like all the other child porn that you wrote?
Brittany makes excuses for why she doesn't have chat logs.
No,
And
she
then when she
doesn't.
shows chat logs, they either show her starting shit or her talking to her fucking self.
So now Tara now Tara is just Brittany? Okay, sure. And you know this because you don't even know the platform that she's using. I don't even know what platform it's on. It's Facebook Messenger, you stupid
How did
twat.
anyone ever take this bitch seriously? I'm not even doing the rest of the interview. She goes on to make claims
I'm not even doing the rest of the interview because she brings up stock
about me that rely on this. And
No, it
it's
doesn't.
nothing. It's fucking nothing. It's not just that Brittany is lying, it's that she's so obviously lying that you have to have an axe to grind against me in order to not recognize her as a liar.
She's so obviously lying that you have to be stupid not to see it. That's making your audience, Lily. That is making your audience immediately have the reaction of, oh, I'm not stupid. I don't have an axe to grind. I can tell if she's lying. You're poisoning the fucking well. You can't even address things properly.
Brittany likes to claim I run an echo chamber where I tell my audience to not listen to anything anyone has to say against me,
You just fucking did. So many times in the 16 minutes we've managed to get through this video. I don't want friends who are going to believe any of this bad shit that's said about me.
that's why it's been this difficult to deplatform me. But no,
No, Lily, that's not at all why it's been difficult to deplatform you. It's difficult to deplatform you because the platforms don't give a fuck that you're grooming kids because 90% sexualizing and messaging minors. Elphaba gets away with what she fucking does. Eugenia Cooney gets away with what she fucking does. Onision got away with what he fucking did. EDP got away with what he fucking did. Nobody really fucking cares about deplatforming you, Lily, because deplatforming you isn't gonna fucking do anything. All anybody cares about is fucking giving kids the tools to protect themselves against you. I couldn't care less if you had a fucking YouTube channel. I don't give 2,000 fucking shits what you talk about. I care that there's a child out there that's gonna fucking believe you, and they're gonna end up Skyping you for the next 7 years. And then have to unpack that all in therapy for the next 20.
making this video, my entire Discord went through her garbage, and she doesn't have anything. Here's the truth of my friendship with
My entire Discord went through her garbage. What garbage? Shouldn't there be links? Shouldn't you show the extent of it? That being the Google Docs that have the Terra Cali logs, the chat logs with you, most of your fanfics that you've written, a good portion of the screenshots from your Tumblr blog before you wiped it the first time. Like, there's a lot. There's like a good 3 or 4 different Google Docs that are fucking floating around, and Brig has access to all of them, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken there, but I'm pretty sure that she does. If not, she knows people who do. So, sure, Lily, sure. I'm so sure that your fan base has seen the screenshot of you making the joke about having a hot sister's like having $19 in your bank account. I'm sure they saw that and went, oh God, Lily's not interested in her sister at all. She called her sister hot when she was 7, when she was 16, and her sister was 15, but like, it's just a joke. Like, everybody calls their sibling hot. No.
Brittany. We had a quasi-sexual relationship.
No, you did not.
But a poor friendship because she was just a fair-weather friend.
What the fuck is even a quasi-sexual relationship? What does that even fucking mean? Quasi-sexual? Is that how you legitimize it to yourself when you sexually harass somebody? You're like, no, I'm not forcing myself on them. It's quasi-sexual. I'm lagging. I'm not on my end, so I don't deal with it. I don't know what to say. She wasn't even abusive back then. She was just self-centered and apathetic.
She was present when she wanted to vent and not present when I wanted to. So I stopped being friends with her. And she has been so angry about it for 10 fucking years that she's decided to present consensual acts between us as coercion and pressure.
No, Your Honor, I didn't rape her. It was consensual.
Saying, I know it looks like I consented, but I was walking on eggshells around her. Fuck you, Brittany. This is a common theme in some of the claims made against me. People will consent to things with me while we're friends, and then when the friendship turns sour, turn around and claim I abused them.
That sounds like you're kind of a fan of coercive consent, Lily. And yeah, when people get away from their abusers, my mic's not off. Now my mic is on. I don't know what to tell you guys. Everything is fine on my end.
I'm not even getting into patch because it's the same thing. I commissioned art.
Oh, here we go, here we go. So this here is a dog cock. This 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 is a dog cock. But apparently it's new that anybody's accusing you of being into dog cock, considering there's 6 in the image that you've shown alone.
Of my puppet from them, and then after the friendship ended, they decided they felt shortchanged and spun that into a story about me supposedly exploiting their financial situation. And that's literally it.
You're forgetting the fact that you also had patch job revenge porn of Lily's sorry, not Lily, of Lizzie's OC getting raped by dogs.
Their whole fucking story. You can't fucking do that, especially if you're not going to communicate that with me beforehand. The thing is, these two, as well as my ex being allergic to communicating anything, messed me up. I practically
I'm messed up because of you. It's not my fault.
Demand clear and upfront communication from people now, and I will cut friendships with people who won't do it. I will not be friends with anyone who can't communicate clearly and frankly. I can't do.
And yet when KP came to you and communicated clearly and frankly that she wanted to talk to you about the allegations against you and hear your side of it, you called her a shitty friend and dumped her like a hot shit. So, like, which is it, Lily? Do you want nobody to ever question anything about you or to ever believe a bad thing that's ever said about you or ever bring anything up, anything bad that's ever said about you? Or do you want someone who communicates fucking clearly? Because you can't have it both ways. If you want someone who never believes a bad thing about you, then yeah, they're not going to communicate to you when you cross a boundary. And it's been shown in your own fucking communications with Lizzie that you are a fan of pushing boundaries to see if they're still standing. So your idea of a boundary is something that can be changed. Your idea of a no is that's a yes if I ask enough. And your idea of consent is they're passed out and can't say no.
Anything if you don't tell me. And if you aren't comfortable with something, don't fucking tell me that you are. And that's KP.
If you're not comfortable, don't tell me that you are. KP, I'm uncomfortable, Lily. Okay, bye.
KP's video and all of Brittany's complaints sans her section on Courtney, which is mostly reassurances KP didn't do anything wrong and citing Courtney's video itself, which we'll get into later. But first, we have to get into Ethel.
No, we don't. Because nobody's talking about Ethel. You bring up Ethel, who hasn't made a video on you in over a fucking year, who already fucking backed the fuck off because I told her to get fucked. I'm not dealing with fucking Ethel. I'm not listening to you fucking distract from the majority of this shit by Ethel.
Make this clear, I'm not even going to pretend to be taking these. That's even worth it. Even if you have a case, people act like suing someone who is defaming you is an admission of guilt, which is a fucked up attitude that corporate America has pushed on people. Before we move on, I have to make this clear, do not find Glade and Mackenzie and harass them. For one, as we've covered, Glade is owed a direct apology by me, but at the end of the day, the two of them are just pawns in this stupid fucking drama game. I mean, what I said before still stands. Leave me alone and there won't be any issue, and I expect you all to hold to that as well. Anyway, that's enough about Ethel. We're moving on to fucking Lele over here.
to fucking Lele over here. I'm sure
Heads
you'd
up,
love
this
to
section
fuck
is going to get
Lele.
into some really heavy subject matter. What I'm about to detail, both Courtney's lies and what she actually did, are absolutely horrific. If you don't have the stomach for this, you must leave immediately. Furthermore, this part is the most he said, she said that we're going to get. Neither of us have evidence for our claims, and the most I have is Courtney contradicting herself. So moving on to the big one.
But Lily, you make a claim in this very video that you should be able to prove.
Courtney Pete, my sister, unfortunately, a person who treats projection like an extreme sport. I haven't seen Courtney in 13 years since she ran away chasing
Was it 13 at that point? Yep.
some messed up bad boy she was obsessed with.
I didn't run away chasing anybody, Lily. Okay? I chose to sleep in a bus shelter because I figured getting raped by a stranger would be easier to deal with than getting raped by my sibling anymore. I didn't chase nobody nowhere, okay? I was the fucking breadwinner. I was the fucking sugar mama. I was the one who was chased and followed, okay? But please, tell me more about my life that you did not live.
And we know this was the reason because when she ran away, we found her diary where she'd constantly written her name with his last name.
What was his last name then? Because I didn't have a diary.
She'd already decided to take the name of the last person she was obsessed with. I'm sure she doesn't do that anymore. Anyway.
No, I didn't. And also, if that's the case, what's the name? Name drop, Lily. Oh, I know all about this bad boy that Courtney chased after, and I know she was obsessed with him because she wrote his name down, and we knew it was his name. What was the name? I can't prove anything that I'm about to claim. You could, with some fucking knowledge. So you apparently ran away at 13? No, she said that she hasn't seen me in 13 years. Which is not true. I took off at 17, and then I went back to visit my parents at 19, which is the last time Lily actually saw me, because she was still living at home.
I hadn't seen her since until about last year when she kicked in the door of my life, shrieking and foaming at the mouth, and made it clear to everyone who hadn't seen her in 12 years that she was still mentally 17.
So everyone who hadn't seen her in 12 years, again, went and visited my parents at 19, went to Newfoundland with them at 20, then I cut them off, and I've been hitting up my mother on Facebook about once a year ever since. So the only one who hasn't heard from me in 12 years, I thought it was 13, is you.
I didn't think mental age was a real thing until I saw my 30-year-old
Okay, so you're quoting me talking
sister delivering the kind of
Lily.
bad attempts at sick burns I see from 17-year-old brain-dead simpletons today. So unlike with the others who
Bad attempts at sick burns while she makes a bad attempt at a
alleged
sick
crimes with
burn.
no proof and made excuses, Courtney's claims are based on things she says happened when we were children, which means proof couldn't be offered even if she wanted to. So let me make this clear, I'm not even going to pretend to be taking these things seriously, because they are not serious. Courtney contradicts herself all the time, making the mistake of trying to paint me simultaneously as a dangerous predator, but also as a worthless wimp who everyone bullied for fun. And those two things...
Well, yeah, because Lily, when you were a kid, you were a worthless wimp that everyone bullied for fun. You were such a fucking wimp that I needed to be asleep for you to assault me. And then you grew up to be a fucking predator that is a danger to children.
really don't go together. So we're going to be covering...
Yeah, actually, they really fucking do, because people who tend to get the shit beaten out of them in school and, like, have life shit all over them from the beginning, they tend to grow up to be bullies and abusive people because they think now it's my turn to do to everybody what was done to me. So yeah, they really do go hand in hand. They correlate more often than you'd think.
Two things, her video with all of her delusional claims and contrasting them with posts from her now nuked Tumblr blog. It's important to do this because in a video, Courtney could prepare everything beforehand and present something that sounds plausible and maybe have someone who isn't insane look over it. But when she was on Tumblr, she had a nasty habit of letting her spite get away from her. Courtney starts out the important part of the video by claiming I coerced her into sexual games in private and details them and other similar things, like claiming I kept molesting her in her sleep. She doesn't say how old we were, but it's clearly
Yes, I do.
before...
Lily, I say very clearly how old you were and how old I was. I was 6 and you were 7 when you started coercing me into things. I was around 10, maybe 9, because you may have been 10, when I realized that, yeah, no, I shouldn't be letting my brother practice on me. This doesn't feel right, and I kind of don't want to agree to these games anymore, so I stopped. That's when you started, like, touching me in my sleep and touching yourself while you watched me sleep. And then by about 11 or 12, that's when you were masturbating over top of me because you were still convincing me to have sleepovers in your room. And then when I stopped doing that, that's when you started sneaking into my room at about 12 or 13 while I was asleep. And then by the time I was 14, you had been raping me for a year in my sleep. And then I got my fucking door locked at the ages multiple times.
Age 11, this didn't happen. It's straight up not true. In fact, I know how old we're supposed to be because we have the screenshots of it. On Tumblr, I shared a story that ironically humanizes Courtney, and that when we were little, she used to be afraid of the tip by her bed and talk to her until she was sleepy. Something I did because at 7 years old, I love my sister, and I didn't want her to feel scared in her own room. Courtney would have been 6. So we're a year apart. A year and a half, actually. Exactly a year and a half. I was born on May 30th, 1992. She was born on November 25th, 1993. Anyway, after posting that, a story that humanizes Courtney and makes her more sympathetic.
No, a story that gives every fucking reason why you were in my room that doesn't admit to you molesting me. Well, she was right about one thing. She didn't ask, she demanded. Given Courtney's entire con right now is insisting I would come into her room to be creepy at age 6. Obviously, any instance of me being invited or ordered in would be dismissed as a lie. Whatever, she's insane. And then there's my fucking screenshot of me saying, like, nah, Lily, you asked me into your room, and that's the coercion where the coercion started. When you'd make me touch you, touch the puddles of cum on your stomach, and you'd jerk off over top of me when you thought I was asleep because you asked me to have a sleepover at your room.
She screenshotted a completely separate post related to it and claims, well, all of this. So I was
And claims, well, all of this.
doing all of this at age 7. This is medically impossible. I can't begin to explain how many things.
Again, no, you weren't doing all of this. When I said that's where the coercion started, and that in your room is where you would do shit to me, is pretty fucking clear. But again, you are not good with media literacy. You are not good with reading words and understanding what they mean.
That aren't a child's fault have to go wrong for a 7-year-old to even think to do any of these things she is alleging.
I thought it was medically impossible. So is it medically impossible for a 7-year-old, or do so many things have to go wrong that's not a 7-year-old's fault for a 7-year-old to even think to do it? Which is it, Lily? Is it's medically impossible for you to have abused me? Or if I did abuse her, it's not my fault because clearly I was abused? Like, which fucking is it? Because either way, you're admitting to doing what you fucking did. I don't know who's calling me right now. I'm not having a phone call right now. No, thank you.
More than a few people have cocked an ear that this was rather unusual behavior. Were you being sexually abused as a child? And the answer is yes. I've talked about it before.
So I didn't do it, but if I did, it means I was abused. Lily, were you abused? Yes. Ergo, you did it. Also, you were 7. So you claimed when this teacher abused you, because that's the only year you had this teacher, Lily. She was the 2nd grade teacher. And I was never your underclassman. Especially 14 and 15, we were in different absolute nitwit.
From ages 6 to 11, I was being molested by a teacher. And from ages 14 to 15, I was being raped by an underclassman. Courtney even confirms both of these events happening in her first appearance with Poppy and Xena, and claims she did nothing about it because she was trying to be the peacekeeper. That's
not what I said at all, Lily. What I said in that interview, again, because you have, like, the understanding of words of, like, a severely mentally handicapped toddler, I guess. Maybe even a brain-damaged chimp. What I had said was that I had heard last year that you claimed to have been abused by a teacher around the age of 7, and that after hearing that, I believe you, because 7 is when your behavior changed, and nobody could figure out why. And that behavior change was so drastic, so sudden, and made you so fucking abusive that, yeah, it would actually correlate and make sense to you being abused in that way when you so claim. So, no, I wasn't a 6-year-old who was currently being abused by both my siblings, understanding what you were going through with a teacher I was not ever around before I had her myself, and totally could have done something to stop it, given every time I tried to tell mom about my own abuse, I only had the words to use of playing house, and I was brushed off. So, Lily, no, if I wasn't even standing up for my own abuse at 6, where would I have been cognitively able to stand up for your abuse at 6? And if you're gonna blame me for me not stopping your abuse when I was 6 years old because you think a 6-year-old is capable of that, why didn't you stop it yourself? Why didn't you say something yourself? You were a year older, you were smarter, you were wiser, you were the one going through it, so why didn't you tell anybody, huh? Why didn't you stop it, Lily? Why didn't you say something? Why didn't you report it? Because that's not how it works, is it? But yeah, the 6-year-old who was pissing the bed and masturbating in public totally would have understood what was going on between you and a teacher I had never met. Absolutely. 100%. Makes sense.
Certainly a decision, but she would have been 10 just as the first one was ending, so whatever, we'll let it go. Granted, I never touched Courtney. Not even as a reaction to being molested as a child. As a child, I loved my sister. I may not have treated her very well.
Yeah, you thought love between siblings was the most purest form there was, and you constantly asked me what I thought about incest. I know you loved me, Lily. You loved me in all the wrong fucking right ways. That's why you have yourself convinced that any incest between two sisters is some wholesome, pure fucking thing that should absolutely be idolized because that's what you did in your fucking brain.
But I would have never done something like that to her. But very long-term abuse gives her a really eye-catching sob story.
Oh, I would never have done that to her. I've posted about beating the shit out of her multiple times for next to no reason, but there's no way I would have taken my abuse out on her. Absolutely not. Are you fucking kidding me, Lily? People actually buy this? People actually fucking listen to you?
Lily molested me when I was a baby, never mind the fact that nothing about that adds up.
Because I didn't say you molested me as a baby. I've been pretty clear that the memories of my abuse start at the age of 3, and that I have every reason to believe Cameron, the kid who's 6 years older than me, was abusing me earlier than that. I have reasons to believe myself that the kid who was 6 years older than me was abusing me in infancy, probably before I left diapers. I'm saying the 6, 7, 8-year-old was the one who abused me, not you.
Is a really eye-catching sob story to rope in the drama.
But it's funny if I say the word half-brother or my mother's other son, my mother's other child or my mother's son, you seem to think I'm talking about you.
I'm a horse. But she's trying to paint me as someone who was just born wrong.
No, I didn't.
Who was genetically rotten and came out of the womb of violence.
I even say in that video that everything was fine. You were a normal child until you were 7. And then something happened and your behavior flipped, and lo and behold, that something happens to be quite likely a fucking sexual assault by a teacher. No, Lily, I never said you were born evil. That's just your rhetoric of me.
Monster, which is not real. It's not a real thing that happens. No child does these things of their own volition. Courtney then alleges I snuck into a room at age 11 and inquired about incest.
I never said you snuck into my room at age 11. I said around 10 or 11 was when you started asking me about incest. But thanks for telling the class that you would sneak into my room at night to do it. I never let that that detail slip. That was something I was holding on to myself for myself.
This is not true. I did not know what incest was until I was 15, when a youth care worker told me what it was. Why did a youth care worker have to explain it to me? We'll get to that. She then tries to show screenshots proving that I'm into incest, and what she shows is 2 characters from a video game, a post of me saying my guilty pleasure trope is
someone simping for their sibling. Yeah, Lily, because Simping for your sibling is not something anybody does.
Someone utterly adoring someone they're close to, and a dumb meme.
A dumb meme, sure. You have 2 adult siblings who only start sleeping in the same bed once one of them gets married. Fucking weird. You have 2 adult siblings that live together and sleep together and do everything together. Cannot exist without each other. That's fucking weird. You want them to be enmeshed, and enmeshment is emotional incest when it's between family members. It's abuse. You literally tell your own audience you like emotional incest.
All of this with her quoting something I never said. I guess she's trying to claim that because my profile pic.
Meanwhile, you're basing your defense off of something I never said. I never said you abused me as a baby. I said Cameron did.
When she took those screenshots was Iris, that Iris and Kira are supposed to be representations of me and her, which is not the case. This is the problem. She knows her claims against me as a child, which are painted with deliberate malice, don't hold up on their own because, like...
Yeah, they do.
Are you stupid? 7-year-olds don't do that. So she's trying...
Don't do what? 7-year-olds don't tell their little sisters that little sisters are meant to be practiced on and then convince me to let you French me and then start yelling at me about where my tongue is because you don't like the feeling of the underside of my tongue on your tongue. Because again, Lily, you didn't rape me until I was 14. 14 is when I stopped it. You didn't rape me until I was 13 and you were 14. Yeah, 14-year-olds do rape. And most sexual assault on children is perpetuated by other children. And most kids who are sexually assaulted are assaulted by a family member. Statistically, Lily, actually, it is pretty fucking believable.
I'm trying to claim Lily's still like this, but it's hard for her to do that. For full disclosure, these two are Gorian's Ward and Imoen, who are the best of friends with a closeness that borders on romantic at times.
No, it actually doesn't. They don't have that sort of closeness at all. And in fact, you had to break the game to install a mod by a known incest writer to be able to romance your sister. And you call it the single best sapphic option in a romanceable game of a character that's not romanceable to begin with. So, no, Lily, they're not that close. You just really want them to be because you're big on keeping it in the family.
Until the two discover that they're actually siblings halfway through their second adventure. And these two are Iris.
They don't discover they're half siblings halfway through their second adventure. They know they're half siblings because they're both ball spawn and they're both raised in the same fucking place. It's really funny that you'll sit there and call Catradora incest, but you won't call this one incest when it's arguably similar circumstances, except for the fact that Adora and Catra don't share genetics. You know, like a father.
And Kira, two original characters of mine. Iris is a mute clinical psychologist, and Kira is her sister, and the two of them live together along with Kira's wife, and they've been very close their entire life.
And that's it. You know what's really funny? This is my main character, and she has traits, and this is her sister, and that is her trait.
Lives to the point other people get weird about it. I've always favored high intimacy relationships in all their forms.
Oh, but she doesn't like incest.
Friends, partners, and siblings being very close and very touchy-feely and adoring each other. I live for that.
Oh, but she doesn't like incest.
That shit. And this post here about, you know, the friendship's real when there's a rumor you're gay for each other is a joke about the fact that when people are really close, others assume their relationship is romantic.
No, they don't, actually. When people are really close, others will assume they're fucking siblings.
Hell, this is the entire premise behind Courtney's accusations. I read this as one way, therefore it is, and therefore you're weird. Like, no, honey, that's literally the joke.
Don't call me
The
honey.
joke is amatonormativity. Like, that's her whole shtick. Oh, Lily talked about one of the most
What did you just say of romantonormativity? Bitch, that's not a word.
infamous and positively received mods for one of the most popular RPGs ever made. Clearly that means she's down bad for me specifically.
Me, what?
Well, she does this a second time. A post of me saying my guilty pleasure trope is someone off her. Hell, this is the entire premise behind Courtney's accusations. I read this as one way, therefore it is, and therefore you're weird. Like, no, honey, that's literally the joke. The joke is a metanormativity. Like, that's her whole shtick. Oh, Lily talked about one of the most infamous and positively received mods for one of the most popular RPGs ever made. Clearly that
one of the most infamous and positively received mods. No, Lily. Lily, the incest mod is not the most positively received mod. Oh my god, are you stupid? That's even Googleable. Let's Google. I'm gonna lag. Like, this stupid is just hurting my brain. I have to turn on my overhead light. The most well-received Baldur's Gate mod. Let's say Baldur's Gate 2, just to be specific. What are we gonna go? Beamdog forums? Yeah, we'll look at Beamdog forums. Fuck it. People have feelings about Reddit. Let me get the page to load. Sorry, I'm reading. I don't see anything about the incest mod. Oh, Emma in romance. You don't have to romance her, though. There's a lot of content. So, like, even people talking about the mod in any sort of positive way is like, hey, you don't have to fuck your sister. And I know it's weird because you gotta fuck your sister, but you don't have to fuck your sister. Like, no. And I had to scroll through like 3 different posts before that even came up. Fucking tweaked him up a whole bunch first.
That means she's down bad for me specifically. Hell, she does this a second time where she claims that because my favorite Family Guy character is Meg, that's built. What? I like Meg because she's the.
No, Lily, when I talk about Meg, I talk about how you were obsessed with Meg and then was constantly telling me how much like Meg that I was. It's really funny that to even try and form your defense, you only can talk about half of my accusation.
Black sheep of the family. She just like me for real. Hey, you know who I don't like and who you are awfully similar to? Then she goes on to claim that I would steal her underwear off her. Are you fucking kidding me? She goes on to claim that I would steal her underwear.
She wrote it like that. She literally wrote in, are you fucking kidding me?
Off her body at night, all without her waking up and screaming and beating the shit out of me. There are so many levels with which that doesn't work. You know, Court, stealing them out of your dresser would have been a much more plausible lie. She then goes on to.
Well, Lily, I'm not lying. That's the thing. That's not even possible. Yeah, it was. It was because you fucking did it. Because, like, Lily, how the fuck else am I gonna go to bed with underwear on, wake up with no underwear on, and my underwear's in your fucking bedroom? How else is that gonna fucking happen, bitch? I wasn't sleepwalking, taking them off in my sleep and putting them in your room. That wasn't fucking happening. And I'm not the one who sat on my fucking live a couple of days ago and went, oh, I used to sneak into Courtney's room while she was asleep and hide under her bed so that I could touch her when she woke up. I'm not the one who fucking said that.
Claim that she told our father about all this. Apparently giving him a handwritten list that my father gave to my psychiatrist, who told our father not to leave me alone with Courtney under any circumstances. Now, the list never happened.
And you would know because I gave it to you, Lily. 1, I didn't talk to Dad when you were around because I was talking to Dad about you. 2, I didn't give the list to you, and I didn't give it to Dad in front of you. 3rd, Dad didn't talk to the psychiatrist about you in front of you, so you would have no fucking way of knowing if that was true or not. You've literally no way to say, that didn't happen, because I didn't see it happen. Yeah, bitch, I was talking about you, not to you. I wasn't going to do it in front of you.
But the psychiatrist did. Wait, Lily, if there was no list or confession, why would the...
I thought it was a youth worker. I thought it was a youth worker. Now it's a psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist tell your father not to leave her alone with you, because I confessed to my psychiatrist what Courtney had done to me. This order wasn't for Courtney's safety, it was for mine. See,
Sure.
Courtney made a grave error in judgment because she's been simultaneously trying to paint me as some dangerous predator, but she's also really vindictive and sadistic, and so she would include every humiliating story about me she could think of. One of them was to rub it in my face about how much our parents hated me. I showed it in a video.
No.
It's this post. You know what?
Let's run with your Courtney's the favorite narrative. Your Courtney's the favorite narrative. All right? So I've already established we're talking about a hypothetical. And lo and behold, abusive parents were abusive to all of their children. No fucking way. It's almost like abuse doesn't pick and choose. It's almost like abusive people have no logic or reasoning. They're just abusive people. Our parents do not have favorites, Lily. They have their golden children that they make every fucking excuse for, and then there's Courtney. But yeah, let's run with your narrative. I've already established from that first line that you're talking out of your ass, kid. But you keep throwing this around like it's some big gotcha. Like, this is Courtney admitting that she's the favorite. No, it's not, Lily, because you know what? No parent should be telling their child that they should have drowned one of their children. No parent should be like weaponizing caring about their child to one child. Okay? I'm not the one who goes and texts mom for pictures of me as a kid. That's something you do. You tell dad apparently something you told him years ago, and he says, well, I'll pay for therapy if you want. I could pick up the phone and mom will say you can always come back home. Like, that doesn't make either one of us the favorite, Lily. That shows what shitty people they are. And like the fact that I have to explain this to you, the fact that you have so few fucking brain cells that this needs to be explained to you is absolutely fucking ridiculous. And this is your smoking gun. This is your smoking gun, is me saying, all right, Lily, let's say you're telling the truth. Let's just say for a minute, suspend reality, run with your narrative that any of this is true.
Lily, let's run with your Courtney is the favorite.
Oh God, I can't even listen to you speak. And the whole point was that, oh God. Oh, more posts of me talking about how abusive our parents were? Okay. Like that's the difference between me and you, Lily, is I don't have to sit here and deny the shit I go through just to validate my own experiences. I was never abused. She only did the abusing because I know that's not how it works. I actually understand the nuance of abuse and the cycle of abuse and how that psychologically affects people. So yeah, I can sit here and be like, our parents were horribly abusive to Lily. Our dad was horribly abusive to Lily. The medical system was horribly abusive to Lily. And Lily was horribly abusive to me. Like, congratulations, our parents were abusive. Now, what do you want? How is that proof that I did anything? Or didn't do anything?
Something to cry about, to the point even Courtney walked into my room one afternoon and made a simple ultimatum.
Here we go. Here we go.
The province at this point. They were not I'll give you something to cry about, to the point even I expected to hear from the province at this point. Something to cry about, to the point even I expected to hear from my teachers if I got caught crying at school. He was also a fan of, I feed you, clothe you, under your head, as if doing the bare minimum to keep himself out of prison was, after having unprotected sex, is something you had to thank him for. He was an incredibly abusive man. It didn't matter that he never punched us in the face. Those are her words detailing how horrifically abusive our parents were toward me. How much contempt they viewed my entire existence. My own mother wanted to drown me. Are these the kind of parents who would hear an accusation of sexual assault against the child they hate and do nothing? Our brother had already been kicked out of the house and was permanently living in the custody of the province at this point. They were not averse to dropping
Again, because he wasn't our brother, all right? He's our half-brother, okay? Dad had Cameron removed from the house because Cameron was not his kid, and he was not dealing with the abusive shit from someone who was not his kid. When it came to you, you got to say and do whatever the fuck you wanted, and every excuse was made for you. Hence why Cameron was removed from the house at 12 years old, and you weren't, even though you should have been.
Their children on the province's doorstep and washing their hands of the matter. If Courtney had
Didn't dump anyone anywhere. They called CPS and said, come collect this child.
accused me of sexually abusing her, our parents would have believed it, and I would have been out of the house. My father had split on his children to an absurd degree.
You don't even understand what splitting is. It's not a fucking thing. Shut up. And like, oh, if our parents heard this, they absolutely would have thrown me out. Lily, when I told Mom that you were the reason I was cutting myself, she tried to throw you out. And then you pretended to down a fucking month's worth of your antipsychotics, and while they were hauling you out on the stretcher to take you to the fucking hospital to pump your stomach, Dad whispered to you, don't worry, you don't have to go anywhere. All you had to do was fake a suicide attempt and you got your way, and you did it plenty.
He believed any accusation made against me.
No, he
He was
didn't.
convinced my behavioral issues were some deliberate act of malice against him. He called me the Antichrist many times as a child. If Courtney had made this accusation, my life would have been over. Courtney knows this. These are her words. This is straight from her fucking mouth, which is why the truth is that she blackmailed me with it. When we were teenagers, Courtney walked into my room one afternoon and made a simple ultimatum. Don't resist or I'll tell Dad you raped me. And then she raped me that day and continued to do so.
But Lily, I told Dad that you were raping me in my sleep. So, like, clearly you resisted. If your own story is true, you clearly resisted because I
So
told
for
you
a year. I mentioned being sexually abused at 2 points in my life by 2 different people. Here are their names. What followed was the worst fucking year of my life, where my mental health, already on a downward spiral, spiraled even harder to the point that I was having manic episodes in school, made extremely alarming and upsetting remarks about wanting to kill everyone, and sometimes just sitting in the quad and wishing for death.
Made extremely upsetting remarks about wanting to kill everyone. Oh, but you didn't get kicked out of school for screaming that you were going to go shoot up the whole school. No. You're sitting here by your own admission making, like, fucking remarks about wanting to kill everyone, but you didn't get kicked out of Lockview because you said you were going to shoot up the school. I was getting manic and abusive at school, but you didn't try to shiv the pregnant teacher, did you? Was Carol Williams even a real person? Yeah, she died. She died years ago. She was the second grade teacher at Monarch Drive Elementary School. And she was Lily's second grade teacher, and then she was my second grade teacher 2 years later. Lily absolutely hated her and would never vocalize why, and she had her for 1 year and 1 year only. Carol Williams did not teach or deal with the resource kids or the special needs kids. She dealt with her class of second graders, and that was it. Now I'm not gonna sit here and say she didn't abuse Lily. I don't fucking know. I was there. I wasn't there. But I know that she didn't actually have access, like real access to Lily past grade 2. But yeah, I find this really funny. It's just like, oh, Courtney just like walked into my room and blackmailed me into sex. Bitch, why? And only for a year.
It's hard to describe what it's like being in that kind of situation. Being
Yeah, because you weren't in it.
preyed on and having your own reputation as a difficult child used against you like this. It's a very empty, oppressive feeling. There's an image I keep in my pictures folder of like a suburban street, but it's in thick fog and it's overly gray. That's the best way I can describe the kind of abuse I had endured up until that point. This really was just what life was for me. And I did not believe that there was any way out or any alternative because this was just my entire life. When you get a reputation in your early years for being a behavioral problem, that follows you until you become an adult.
Bitch, it followed me. I'd get into school. I would sit down for my first day of school every fucking year for 7 fucking years and get, oh God, you're Lily's sister.
Nobody believes you when you complain about how you're treated. Everyone assumes you did something if you're ever hurt, and it goes on your record so new faces are primed not to believe you. And then
Bro, what record? What fucking record? You think there's just like a file of like small children that's just like kept up to date? Every single lie they ever tell, like, you stole a cookie from the cookie jar, that's going on your permanent record. Like, oh my God, Lily. Like, I don't think you even understand what kind of medical notes
who
were taken
see
on
that you can be hurt and get away with it will start hurting you.
Sure.
I was diagnosed with oppositional defiance disorder, whose risk factors are listed as abuse and more.
You know what oppositional defiance disorder turns into when you're older, Lily? Do you know what oppositional defiant disorder is a precursor to when you're an adult, Lily? Do you know what oppositional defiance disorder often leads to from children to adulthood, Lily? Antisocial personality disorder.
Or abuse. Heads up for parents, if your child is diagnosed with this, your kid's being abused. If it's not you, you'd better find out who. After a certain point,
Heads up, if your child's diagnosed with this, also abusing animals, also starting fires, and also abusing other children, congratulations, you have an antisocial personality disorder case on your hands.
you just give up and you stop trying. I didn't tell anyone what Courtney was doing to me. I didn't think it would matter. I already knew what I was going to hear, and I just didn't bother. I was hospitalized for the following year because I was so unstable, I was considered a danger to myself.
No, you were not. Okay, so she can't fucking make up her mind on when she was in the hospital, first of all, which is really funny. I was hospitalized the following year because I was labeled a danger to myself. Okay, that's a 72-hour hold, Lily. That's like 2-3 days max, all right? You were put into a behavioral facility in a lockdown part of the hospital because you were labeled a runaway and court ordered into a lockdown behavioral facility for troubled teens because they couldn't keep you in the other ones. Behavioral facilities you had been going to for like 10 years at that point.
Eventually reached the point where people couldn't ignore it or write it off anymore, and they had to do something. I think
No, it got to the point where mom and dad were sick and tired of getting phone calls from these facilities saying, yeah, she took off again. No, we couldn't stop her. And then the social worker finally went, so listen, here's what we can do.
the tipping point was me talking about violence to my math teacher. I was first held in the Wood Street Center for 2 months.
Violence to the math teacher, the pregnant teacher that you tried to shiv and then push down a flight of stairs.
And a no-contact order was placed against my parents and my sister.
A no contact order. There would be documentation of that if that were true. Even now, there would be documentation of a no contact order with mom's name, with dad's name, with my name, and with your name, but there isn't. That's kind of fucking funny. Second of all, if you had a no contact order, then why is it you were visiting with mom and dad like every weekend and like calling the house all the fucking time? Why did they take you out on weekends? Why did they take you home on weekends?
Brother was the only one allowed to visit me.
Oh, Cameron was the only one allowed to visit you. Cameron was in basic training at this point.
Which he did only once because I was out in Truro. I was then taken to the Adolescent Center for Treatment, which was run by the IWK. I was there
You were never in
for
Truro.
just over a year. The order against my parents was lifted after 3 months, and the order against my sister was extended after I reacted so violently to the idea she might visit me that I had to be isolated.
Honey, our parents had to force me to come visit you. You were up my fucking ass and wouldn't leave me alone. When you got let out of the fucking Ray Allen Center, you started making phone calls asking mom, dad, and me individually if we even wanted you to come home. You fucking talked to me on the phone after dad handed me the phone and said, don't fuck this up, Courtney. And you said, do you even want me to come back? And I said, what the fuck do you think? And I hung up the phone. But sure, Lily, sure. You were begging me to say I wanted you to come home, but sure, you reacted violently to the idea of me seeing you.
And at first in the hospital, I was unable to be helped because I wouldn't talk to anyone. I didn't trust them. Granted, I was doing better in the hospital even with that, just because I was out of that environment. And I was in an environment where the most you get from mouthing off to someone is like, I'll talk to you when you're ready to be respectful. Nobody screamed at me, nobody yelled at me, nobody threatened me.
Meanwhile, you screamed and you yelled and you threatened. And that's what you want, Lily. That's what you want out of people, is you want to be able to do whatever the fuck you want, and somebody's just going to respond to you kindly and calmly with kid gloves.
It was great, honestly.
It was great. Everyone kissed my ass. I could scream and yell death threats, and they just went, okay, honey, well, I'll speak to you when you're ready to be calm and respectful.
I only opened up to my primary worker 8 or 9 months in, a woman named Krista, and only after I received a promise of total confidentiality. The legality of that is murky. In Canada, psychiatrists are required to report abuse, but even minors still have the right to confidentiality. And given my medical records and the records they had on my parents, it was determined that it would only put me in more danger.
Because of my medical records and the medical records they had on my parents, no, but I mean, this is a cute way to try and set up. This is why my parents won't be able to corroborate it, because the doctor said that they wouldn't. They actually are legally obligated to say something to somebody, Lily. So if you had had disclosed to your therapist or your social worker or whatever that you were being raped in your house, you would not have been allowed to go back into that house.
And given that I was 16 when this came out, I was old enough to make those decisions about my own care. Given that I was already in an inpatient unit, there wasn't an immediate threat to me that had to be acted on in that moment. Luckily, when I returned home, whatever had possessed Courtney to do this apparently faded, and she didn't trouble me ever again. Now, some of you may be thinking, hang on, wouldn't Courtney have been 13 when this happened? You argued a 7-year-old couldn't do this without outside stimuli. What about a 13-year-old? Truthfully, you're right. There had to be something, but I don't know what it is. I mean, my first thought is abuse. What she was doing to me is about the only thing that gives any credence to the idea that our brother was doing something to her. But that's just my own wild speculation. It could have been someone else. It's not like she's gonna tell us the truth. But given the fact that she's in her 30s, taking my name and spends a lot of her time—
That is Lizzie Orchard's name, you stupid cuck.
concocting this fantasy that I'm secretly into her, I mean, what other fucking conclusion am I supposed to draw here? All I know is there was something. So Courtney's response—
Lily, I don't give a shit about what conclusions you draw. Nobody gives a shit about what conclusions you draw. I don't believe that I was abused for me to have been abused. I don't need anybody to believe what happened to me to have it have had happened to me. I'm the one that fucking lived through it. I'm the one that's dealing with it. I'm the one who actually was abused. I am the one that would fucking know. So, like, I don't give a shit if you believe that Cameron did anything to me. I don't give a shit if you could place the source of my fucking abuse. I don't give a shit if you believe that I was abused, because none of that has any fucking valid, like, any fucking, what's the word I'm trying to find? It's got nothing to fucking do with something that happened, like, 20 fucking years ago. You saying that didn't happen doesn't fucking change what happened to me. You saying Courtney was never abused doesn't change the fact that I have BPD. You saying I don't know where Courtney has been abused doesn't change the fact that I went through 3 fucking years of Cameron raping me. Let alone what you fucking did to me. But I love this idea that, like, I sit here and go, yeah, Lily was abused by her parents. She says she was abused by a teacher, and I believe her. And, like, you know, I witnessed a shitload of abuse, and given the fact that I know how child abuse works and sexual abuse amongst children works, because I've researched it, because I've been through it, I know the likelihood of Cameron not abusing her but abusing me is very fucking low. It's more likely that he also abused her. So if he did abuse her, it would make sense that she was recreating that abuse on me. Not that I fucking give her any passes for it to think, well, it's not her fault. Fuck you, it's still your fault. That's how I can sit here and do all of that. But you can't. Say they were abused but me. I am the only person who's ever been abused in the world. My experience is universal, and if I didn't go through it, it didn't fucking happen. And yet you're gonna sit there and go, Courtney was never abused, and she just one day out of the blue decided to start raping me, and then one day out of the blue she just decided to stop. Why? I don't know. And that's totally a much more believable story than my sister went through a shitload of abuse, as did I, and then she started abusing me, and she's still being a shitty person. Literally, but oh, just randomly for a year I decided I was down bad for incest and started raping you and then just stopped of my own volition. That is never how that works, Lily. And the fact that you're trying to push the idea that somebody just stops abusing somebody of their own fucking volition is absolutely adorable, because that means you're trying to convince yourself that you weren't forced to stop by my hand and my locking that door. You chose to stop of your own volition. Just like Cameron wasn't forced to stop abusing me by being removed from the house. No, he just chose to stop of his own volition.
responsibility for her actions is up in the air, and she's more interested in poisoning the well and covering her ass. I know the stalkers who are deeply invested in hating
Covering
me
my
will
ass over
dismiss
what,
this, but
Lily?
Courtney's already
Do anything
detailed how
either.
the environment we grew up in doesn't support her claims against me. These are her own words contradicting her. Courtney's abuse had long-lasting consequences. I was messed up for a long time. Actually, no, granted, it wasn't entirely Courtney. I mean, like, the rest of the family, with the exception of Cameron, had a pretty big hand in it. I couldn't
With the
have healthy
exception of
relationships
Cameron,
with
of
people
course.
because of it. I was unstable. I'd freak out if anyone touched me. I became reclusive when I finally moved out on my own. This is
freak out when
difficult for
anyone
me to
looked
talk
at you
about because I know
sideways.
most of these little parasites are gonna scream lies based on nothing. KP claims
like
in her
you
big
do?
video about me that she used hard evidence, but we've already gone through her evidence. It's
You
nothing.
didn't go
And what
through
little
her
there is
evidence.
contradicts what people are saying. And these
All you said was she's got none, trust me, bro.
morons take it at face value. Courtney has no proof other than pointing at unrelated things and going, "This is proof. You want
Sure.
me." Admittedly, I don't have proof either, other than her own words describing the way our home
But you said there's a no contact order. You said it was extended. That takes court cases. That takes a decision made by a judge. That takes a lot of paperwork and money. There would be a paper trail. If what you were saying is true, Lily, you would be able to present that court order. You would be able to present that no contact order. You'd be able to present or find any fucking paperwork to do with a court case that led to a no contact order, because you don't just get a no contact order. They're very, very fucking hard to get because you need an established paper trail of abuse or threat, which you did not have. Not against anybody, just against yourself.
environment was set up to enable the abuse I suffered. Courtney claims one thing in her video, but we have proof of her contradicting herself. Courtney
Do you?
admits she
Where?
was the favorite, that they adored her. She has admitted to it and tried to lie about it later. She incessantly swaps between trying to accuse me of being a predator and trying to humiliate me with embarrassing stories of me showing the red flag.
Courtney claims I suffered from nocturnal in Uris. I think she means wet dreams until I was 15 to embarrass me. She does not realize this is a brazen red flag for sexual abuse. No, actually, Lily, one, wet dreams are very normal in puberty. They happen a lot to boys. And second of all, how would I know that you were having wet dreams if you weren't sticking my hand in the puddles of cum, going, "What's this? Feel this." So like um kids going through puberty is not a brazen red flag of sexual abuse, and I, as your little sister who slept in a whole other room, would not know that you were having nocturnal emissions unless you were actually sticking my hand in the puddles of cum on your stomach like I claimed you were. And I never said what ages that was. That was around like I think 10, 12, 11 or 12. Because I remember I didn't even know what the fuck it was until I went through the puberty talk at school and I realized sitting in the middle of a classroom in fucking 6th grade, oh God, my sibling's been sticking my hand into puddles of his jizz. And then I had to explain to you what a wet dream was.
Flags of abuse.
The next
Courtney
time
is
you
trying to
did it.
claim that I want to fuck her based on the video games I play, while she's calling herself Courtney Orchard. I changed my name to Orchard long after she left. It isn't her name, and this
It's not yours either, it's Lizzie's. And like, you know what I did? I asked Lizzie if I could use her name.
is just fucking weird. And before she went on this warpath, she actually reached out to me. Hey, it's Courtney. We need to talk.
Yeah, and then I found Stockholm and realized that you had fucking turned around and wrote a story off of abusing me as a child. So, like, yeah, our parents parentifying me and our parents using you against me was not your fault. You raping me in my sleep and then glorifying it years later is.
I hate how he was so resigned to his own abuse.
Oh, wait, what?
Way or supportive. Supportive of what? I don't. Themselves aside, you only have my word that this even happened. This isn't even for the people who've already decided they don't like me.
In Uris means wetting the bed, so it's just more DARVO. Lily, you stopped pissing the bed at 7 like most kids. I'm the one who pissed the bed until I was 13 years old. 14, until I was 14. So, like, no, I made fun of you. I didn't even make fun of you. I think I mentioned once or twice how you didn't wet the bed. You would pile up clothes in the corner of your bedroom and piss on them and then go back to bed. That's not saying you pissed the bed, Lily. And again, I'm the one who pissed the bed for years. You stopped at 7.
I'll never convince them because they've wrapped up too much ego in hating me. I've never wanted to
Court
discuss Courtney's
documents.
abuse outside of, like, my therapists. I was
Sure.
prepared to take it to my fucking grave
Sure you
because
were.
I hate reliving it. I hate
Sure
the
you do.
person I became during it. I
We all
hate the
hate the
person
person
I
we became
was during
during
my
it.
childhood. I hate Jerry Pete so much.
Everybody
I hate
does.
how he just gave up. I hate how he laid down and waited for death that wasn't coming.
I hate that
how
he
he let
didn't
all of this
die.
happen to him with only screaming matches in response. I hate how he was so resigned to his own abuse, he would try and convince himself this is fine. People hear
When?
about what happened to me and
When were you convincing yourself this was fine? Was it when you were screaming at Dad about how fat he was? Was it when you were screaming at Mom about how dumb she was? Was it when you were screaming at teachers about how you were going to shoot up the school? Was it when you were screaming at your math teacher while you tried to shove her down a flight of stairs after trying to stab her in her pregnant stomach? Where did you say this was fine, Lily? You were the most volatile, aggressive, angry, vitriolic piece of fucking shit child that I've ever met. You were happy being miserable. You are still happy being miserable, and you want everybody else to be miserable around you. And it's fucking pathetic. You have never once sat there and been, this is fine. You made fights out of being told to do the fucking dishes. You made screaming matches and meltdowns out of being told to do your homework. You would freak the fuck out and spend a fucking hour going on about Dad's weight because he told you to pick up the dog shit in the yard. You sensitive little fucking snowflake. I just laid down and took my abuse. No, Lily, that was me, okay? While I lost my childhood being parentified to be your third fucking parent, while I was made to fucking believe that you were my responsibility and I was the one who was responsible for keeping that fucking family together, while I did all the chores, helped Mom and Dad worry about their marital problems, helped Dad realize he was a shitty fucking parent to his children, like everything that I fucking did. And then, despite all of it, oh, you all right, Courtney? Oh, yeah, I'm fine. What's wrong? Oh, nothing, I'm fine. Or are you okay? I'm fine. I was always fine. It was always okay. You always had to get your way because I'd just lay down and take it and you would scream otherwise.
they're surprised I'm not addicted to drugs or that I haven't killed anyone. I don't want to relive being him by going into more detail than I already have.
Nobody's surprised you're not addicted to drugs, Lily. You're too much of a pussy. I literally tried to get you to smoke a joint. You're like, I'm scared of what it's going to do to me.
The only one who knows the details is my wife. Our parents now know what Courtney has done, but they don't know the gory details, and it will stay that way. Courtney's behavior now, particularly taking my name,
Lizzie's name.
should be called out as the very creepy, obsessive behavior it is. But going after her over her sexual abuse, that should be my call to make. But I'll be honest with you, this woman terrifies me. Everyone else is a loser malding over unrelated crap and clout chasing like crazy. And Brittany may be a terminally friendless forever alone type, but Courtney is just straight up insane. I don't want Courtney in that way. I never have. I don't want Courtney near me. I shudder to think what might have happened to me if I had answered that message in time, because given her behavior, she did not have altruistic intentions. The fact that she reached out...
She didn't have altruistic intentions. I shudder to think if I had read that message in time. Oh my god. So, like, which is it, Lily? Because then you also talk about how you're not scared of me, you totally could, like, beat me in a fight. Fucking, I'm not scared. I beat Courtney up all the time. Courtney's a nothing. Courtney's useless. Courtney's a wimp. Courtney's a this. Courtney's a that.
Stay the hell away from me.
Bitch, I've been nowhere near you. Like, which is it? Are you terrified of me? But I love it. I fucking love it. This is pretty much where I'm cutting it off. But I love it so much because, like, which fucking is it, Lily? altruistic means, right? She didn't have altruistic intentions. Well, I mean, no, had you actually answered me and we'd met up after I found out about Stockholm, oh yeah, I'd have beaten the fucking shit out of you, you pathetic little fucking pedophile. Why the fuck wouldn't I? You're a piece of shit. You fucking raped me, and then you're using that to groom. You're using what you did to me to groom more children. Yeah, of course I'd beat the shit out of you. Um, you also apparently I'm a rabid animal that you can absolutely take. So like, time and place, bitch. Drop it fucking address. Let's go. I could show up. I mean, I do know where you live. Like, also know the ins and outs of those buildings pretty well. I've known some people who've lived in those buildings, and like, as much as everybody wants to think old PMQs have like really great security, they fucking don't. And yeah, Lily, you live in old PMQs. Shut the fuck up. You live in fucking rat hole that can't even be used for reserves anymore or basic training or anybody of actual means. So they're like, it's run down and fuck it, give it to the poor people. Stay the hell away from me. Hey, Lily, stay the hell away from children. Stop grooming children. Why are you saying no data? But yeah, so that was fun. I love that so much. I don't have proof of this, but you said there were court orders. Like, like everything that you said you did, that you claimed you told people, there would be a paper trail. Honestly, if I was told to keep my parents' marriage together, I would have said no and let them divorce. I tried to get them to divorce, okay? Lily claims she beat Courtney in 2018. She never mentioned that in the video. Ugh. This is the same woman who got mad at her fans for suggesting she have some soup, right? I don't want Courtney in that way. I never did. That's a weird fucking way to say that. Like, that's a really weird way to say that. What's wrong with Studio? Like, wouldn't you just say, I don't want to fuck my sister? But no, it's, I don't want Courtney in that way. I never did. Well, no, I'm sure it's not a want if you've convinced yourself it's a need. I wouldn't doubt that, to be honest. Hey, Lily, why don't you stay out of your sister's room, right? I almost completely zoned out for this. Too bad I don't know how to tune out Lily's voice. Her voice makes me want to punch babies. Are we still going? Yes. Okay, cool. Just had me look at my phone. I don't know why it's giving me a warning. Alright, everything's working. So that was fun. What'd you guys think? How'd you guys like that? Every time she brings you up, she says that you want her. It's gross. I know, because she wants me to. Like, it's just, it's so fucking stupid. So fucking stupid. I don't want Courtney like that. I never did. Are you trying to tell yourself that, Lily? It's just, the phrasing of that hits me so fucking weird. Because, I mean, it's just pretty easy to just say the simple, I'm not an incestuous fuckhead, you nasty shit. Get away from me. But no, you have to say it weird. That's impossible because people don't do that, right? Even the retreat I help at for teens, there's confidentiality until there's a mention of self-harm, suicidal thoughts, or any kind of abuse because of their mandated reporters. Exactly. But see, now there's always the fact that like just because they're a mandated reporter doesn't mean they report it. But Lily's not just saying she disclosed, she's saying she disclosed, it was reported and acted on. And if all of that were true, there would be a very easy to find paper trail of this documented case because as her by her own admission, she disclosed, it was reported, and then the report was acted on to the point two no contact orders were given, one was extended, and then after a year that was just like what, thrown out. Ugh, just it's just so funny. I came late. Did I miss like everything? You did. We just finished the video. I would like to thank you for filling us in on what Cy and Anthony did in your community posts. What do you mean? What do you mean? I feel like people glaze over the fact they flash themselves to minors way too much. And Lily even admits it in that fucking video. Like, that's the worst part. What are you going off about, phone? Yeah, nothing important. Ugh. Hope you have an okay rest of your day despite going over all that. Yeah, I'm alright. I have to go to the bathroom really bad, though. I'll be back. If I can move. Wee. Where is it? Where is it? She says there's no proof to show, but then she says there's documents, right? Like, feel bad for Michaela if she didn't join in on that. I mean, same. That's my favorite part. Is Lily's like, neither me nor Courtney can prove what we're saying. It's like, no, Lily, you should be able to prove what you're saying if it's true. Because, like, you're claiming that it was, like, reported and then acted on, and then, like, there was adjudication done, but then that just got tossed out because, like, why? Hey, Cosmic Persephone. Yeah, we're doing alright. Gonna watch satisfying videos to wash Lily out of my head. I mean, that's probably a good idea. Show the receipts. Right? Right? Right. And then inadvertently admits to shit too. And I find it really funny that like Lily picks and chooses when I'm telling the truth and when I'm not. Like she always sits there and goes, um, wait, pardon me if this has already been answered. Do you have any sort of paper trail like how Lily should but conveniently doesn't show? No, I don't have any paper trail that I know of. Um, because none of my shit was reported. I didn't even start talking about it until I was like 18 and already out of the house. And there's also the fact that uh, uh, child-on-child sexual assault's not criminalized in Canada. But no, because like to be quite honest, I don't even know if my father actually showed that list to the psychiatrist because I gave him the list And then I asked him about it the next day, and he told me that he did. And he told me the psychiatrist fucking told him not to leave me alone with Lily, said I wasn't safe with her. But then that was it. I never heard anything else, and nothing else was actually done, and nobody apparently reported it. So for all I know, my dad didn't even actually tell the psychiatrist. He just made a decision on his own. Because had he told the psychiatrist should have reported that. That should have been something that should have been reported, but it wasn't reported. So that means either the psychiatrist didn't report it or my father didn't actually tell. But yeah, I went and found that list like 2 years later. I found it in his dresser. And I was in his dresser because my father always kept his spare change in his dresser. And I wanted money. So I was like, fuck it, I'll go dig change out of his dresser. And I found the paper and I unfolded it. I'm like, well, what's this? And I read the list and I'm like, oh shit, I remember this. So I waited till my dad came home and then I asked him about it. I'm like, do you remember me coming to you saying that I was worried about that Lily was going to do something to me in my sleep and I was worried about shit she had already been doing and you told me to write it down and you'd give it to her psychiatrist in a list. And he's like, no, I don't remember that at all, Courtney. And that's when I slapped the list down in front of him. I'm like, what the fuck is that then? And he goes, why were you in my sock drawer? I'm like, oh, so we know where I found it, but we don't know what I'm talking about? You didn't even get up to look to see what this is. You knew just from the fucking color of the paper what this is and where it was, but you don't know what I'm talking about? You don't remember me handing this to you? That's a little fucking convenient, didn't it? How far into this are we? Oh, we finished the video. And it's like pretty fucking convenient that you don't seem to remember, but you know what exactly where the fuck it was. And then he just started lecturing me about getting in the sock drawer to avoid the conversation, no matter how many times I tried to bring it back. My father's favorite way of dismissing me was, you're a kid, Courtney, of course you think like that. If he didn't care, then why did he keep the list? I don't know. I don't fucking know, because he never did anything about it. Her voice is so grating. I need farting and shitting noises to make it palatable. I know her voice annoys the fuck out of me. Someone asked me earlier while we were going through it, how did you fucking last with her so long? A lot of disassociation, my friend. A lot of sitting in a burning pit of hell just going, this is fine. I'm okay. I have to be because my parents can't handle another not okay child. That was most of my childhood, to be quite honest, was I had to be okay because my parents couldn't handle another kid that was not okay. I didn't have a choice. My feelings didn't matter, my problems didn't matter, my struggles didn't matter, my trauma didn't matter, my pain didn't matter. Because Lily had more problems and my parents had more problems having to raise her. Alright, see you, Max Dragonwolf. I love watching your streams and listening to your commentary. Well, thank you. I got a lot of shit to say. Yeah, it was Mark Cosmic Persephone. He gifted 10 more subs. And I can't wait until YouTube pays me because I'm out of money and I'm out of weed. It's sad. It's funny how you reveal so much new stuff about Lily's childhood, but she can't make the same kind of observation about you because she wasn't as perceptive. Like I said, Lily looked at my childhood. She looked at the neglect and the parentification, and she saw that as me getting everything she wanted out of life. Um, I'm all right. How are you? But like, so she doesn't see my childhood for the neglect and the abuse and the parentification and then the emotional neglect. Like, she doesn't see it for what it actually was. She sees it for how she thinks that it was, because in her view, I got away with everything and got to do what I wanted when what I got away with was behavior I was allowed to do. So like I just didn't get in trouble because I wasn't breaking the rules, and the odd time I did, I didn't get caught. And then yeah, like it or not, when you have a history of telling the truth as a youngster, the times you do lie, you do kind of get away with it more because you have a history of telling the truth. People are more apt to believe you. When you have a history of telling everybody that your father punched you in the face when he fucking didn't, and all you did was scream and strain like you had to shit yourself to break blood vessels in your face. When you have a history of doing shit like that, yeah, it's like crying wolf. People are not going to believe you when you start saying things because you have a history of making shit up. So the fact that, like, I behaved, I did what I was told, I did what I was expected, I played within the bounds of the rules, I didn't break the rules, and if I did, I made damn sure not to get caught. So Lily just sees that as broke the rules just as much as she did all the bad things she did. She was just the only one getting punished for it. Lily, I didn't get suspended 63 times throughout my whole school career. I've never been suspended once. I didn't even get an in-school suspension. I had detention few enough times in my entire school career I can count it on one fucking hand. It was 3 fucking times. Okay? I got good grades. I didn't have the school calling mom and dad to drop it to leave work early to come pick me up because I was screaming and yelling and causing a problem and threatening everybody's lives and moving and like leaving school property and causing fucking and being a danger to myself or others. Okay? I didn't break shit in the house. I didn't steal shit that wasn't mine. I didn't break into the house and tell dad it was somebody else. I didn't fuck with dad's computer. I didn't fuck with his Wi-Fi router. You did all these things, Lily, and that's why you got in shit. You were also extremely aggressive. You were extremely disrespectful. Fucking mom or dad telling you to do the dishes turned into a screaming match because how dare Lily have to wash a dish and be expected to actually clean it? Is there any reason why Lily would side with Cameron despite probably being abused by him? Yeah, because they both probably sat down and went, well, fuck, you diddled her, I diddled her. If we both cover each other's asses, we'll be fine. And, by the way, I'll let you have my kids. I don't really care how out there it is. I fully believe Cameron's Epstein and his fucking children. Do I have proof? No, but I believe it. Because I wouldn't put it past him. She really is Cartman. Except it's Bigot instead of Mint. So yeah, so Lily saw me playing by the rules and not getting punished for it and saw that as Courtney just gets away with everything. Nah, dude, if you don't leave the trailer park when mom and dad tell you not to leave the trailer park, they're not going to ground you. Um, if you don't stay out past curfew when you're 7 years old, they're not going to ground you. If you don't get sent home from school or get called, have them called to the school 3 times a week, they're not going to ground you. Like it's pretty fucking simple. Like it was really fucking easy. It was don't be a dick, do what you're told, do your chores, your homework, and eat your dinner, and that's all that was expected of you. Didn't Cameron get investigated by the military? No, Lily made some like vague implication that she was talking to Cameron on the phone about Cameron talking to his commanding officer about my claims against him. I have no idea what that's about. Yeah, if a kid is sexually abusing their younger sibling has gotten into shit through the rest of their life. Well, that's the thing. Cameron didn't just sexually abuse me. I wasn't the only kid Cameron was sexually abusing, and he sexually abused other women too. At least Cameron's good at lying. Oh, at least Cartman's good at lying. At least Cameron's good at lying. I was like, no, the fuck he isn't. Was your parents to kick Leia out because they were sick of her, not her actually wanting to rent her own place? Yeah. They didn't even kick her out, really. They moved her out. You don't get into subsidized fucking housing, skipping the 10-year wait without your daddy and the fucking government pulling some strings and getting you in there. There's people who've been waiting 6 years, 7 years, families who have been waiting for subsidized housing, and Lily just got to breeze past them all because her daddy works for the government. Oh, the fuck happened when Cameron getting stabbed by his ex, or is that Lily's lie again? No, apparently, someone on Kiwi Farms reached out to him, and he said he did get stabbed, and that the person was caught and put behind bars. I have no idea who stabbed him. If it was his baby mama, I really do have a sister. We should meet. I don't blame you, but honey, you missed. Cameron's posting about kids needing better discipline today. Like, was like say you're abusing your kids without saying you're abusing your kids. I saw him post his daughter when I posted one of his TikToks, and it made my skin crawl. Oh, so it was nepotism. That's why Lily got that apartment. Yep. This is why I hate government officials. Like, he's not like super high up. He works for the shipyard, but he does work for the government, and he's well liked enough around there that when his original job he got hired for got cut because of budget cuts, they went and made up a whole new position just to keep him. Took you 9 years to get subsidized housing. Yeah, it's like a 10-year wait. Is June's video on Lily good? Yes, we went over that last week actually. Who's that what? Cat. Meow. Oh, what time is it? Oh, I gotta feed the cat soon. Back, what are we talking about? Stuff and things. Probably gonna get ready to shut the stream down soon because I gotta feed the cats and my boyfriend. Do you think maybe he almost got stabbed for a reason? Well, yeah. Would be surprised if he was assaulting another woman and that's how he got stabbed. There's speculation going around that it was the mother of his kids that stabbed him because they're not together, and like, I really hope so. Because that means I actually do have a sister out there. I don't follow Sai at all purely for the puppy mill shit, but when did she post about Cameron? I wouldn't have expected that. Cameron's got a TikTok where he talks about fucking, I don't know, anti-abortion shit, and then I don't know. He's also got a Twitter that he made just to like fucking respond to every post and every tweet I've ever made, despite me not seeing them. Um, Gonna get you a real streaming rig. Need to get a VTuber model and everything. Why would I want to be a VTuber? I already show my face. Um, no, that was Batman, by the way, not Magic. What was I saying? Yeah, Cameron's got a TikTok and a Twitter, and all he really does is post like anti-gun control shit, anti-abortion shit, and then the odd time he's yelling on Twitter about how he thinks pedophile hunters are stupid, and he really hopes one of the pedophiles pulls a gun on them one of these days, except he doesn't say gun, he literally types out the words pew pew. Wait, sorry, sigh, puppy mill. Kai, she's that's that's a reference to me making speculations about where Sai works, because Sai says she works for a dog breeder, and in one of my rant streams, I equated that to working for a puppy mill because there doesn't need to be any more dog breeders. 9 times out of 10, a dog breeder's usually doing it out of their fucking backyard and they're not doing it properly. Dog breeding is what leads to most animals being abused. Like, there's enough dogs in this world that every single dog could be like fucking spayed or neutered. We wouldn't run out of any anytime soon. Same with cats. And so she's bragging all the time that she works for a dog breeder and like she brings home the failure to thrive puppies to bottle feed them and shit. And it's just like, cool. So you work for a dog breeder who's clearly not breeding their animals properly. If you've got multiple fucking puppies with a failure to thrive, like, chances are you're working for a backyard fucking breeder who's basically running a puppy mill, considering like there's Are there dog breeders, like government dog breeders that you can work for? Is that an industry or is that just everybody does it out of their fucking backyard? So I find it funny that she's like, oh, I work for a dog breeder. Okay, puppy mill queen. I saw one Tumblr, he was saying how school shootings basically weren't something to worry about. Yeah, 'cause you're fucking Canadian, Cameron, and there's gun control here. Just say here, pedophile who doesn't want to be caught. Right, Spider? Right, Analyzer? Sorry. Wait, so he hopes the pedophiles shoot the hunters? Does he not want to beat the allegations? Exactly. Anti-women's rights, pro-violence, pro-pedo. Nice people you're hanging out with there, Lily, right? And he's anti-trans people. She works for a dog breeder. I thought she worked for a dog groomer. No, she works for a dog breeder. Dog groomers don't take home puppies that have failure to thrive. She grooms for the dog breeder. She is a dog groomer herself, but no, she works for a breeder. Cameron says and posts all that stuff and Lily's cool with him. That's all stuff Lily claims she hates, right? Yay, puppy mills. She says she just kisses and feeds them, but then there's ones with birth defects. That's a sign that somebody's a backyard fucking breeder and they're not breeding those animals properly. And again, there do not need to be commercial breeders. There doesn't need to be breeders, period. Animals do not need to be fucking bred anymore. There are enough homeless dogs, there are enough homeless cats that every single male could be rendered unintact and every single female could be given a hysterectomy and we would not run about out of pets anytime soon. There are government regulated dog breeders. That's the dumbest shit ever. No, my dog was a dog groomer. They don't do all that, right? That's what I mean. Like, dog groomers don't get to keep the dogs. They just see them for like the hour or so it takes to do their coat and then they leave. So, like, congratulations, you work for a fucking backyard puppy mill breeder. That someone is mega inbreeding those animals. Right? Right. And it's so fucking gross. And just, I don't know, it just kind of adds up, I guess, because, like, oh yeah, you're apathetic to anybody's suffering but your own. Also a lot of skill involved in breeding, not just putting two animals together. Yeah, there's a viral video that's on the internet of these these people trying to breed horses, and because they did it improperly, the female ends up kicking out at the male, who was a very, very, very expensive horse that was worth a lot of money as a stud, and kicks this male so square and so hard in the forehead that like immediately crushes its brain. The male horse just drops fucking dead right then and there. I never really paid attention when she talked about her job, so I didn't remember the time she took the dogs home. She was on stream and she was like interrupting it every 2 hours to go bottle feed them. Lily said she stopped taking her Adderall because it makes her clench her teeth or something. Okay. So Lily, I'm unmedicated and unmanaged, but Courtney's crazy. Okay, honey. Okay. Need to be registered under the USDA, otherwise they're considered puppy mills. At least is what I gathered from a Google search. Still take advice from a vet over a breeder. Right, right. So yeah, backyard breeders just don't need to happen, and like government sanctioned breeders don't need to fucking happen either. I thought she worked at a pet store. Not any better though. No, she's always said she works for a dog breeder. So, and in Canada, pet stores don't have pets in them. You can't get a pet from a pet store. We don't have pet stores. We have pet supply stores. There are still exotic animal stores, unfortunately, where you can go buy reptiles and shit. But you can't just like go to a pet store and get a dog in Canada. You have to go to a shelter and adopt one. They outlawed pet stores carrying puppies and kittens and rabbits and shit like years and years ago. Did she literally flex about not being on medication after spending years claiming to be a mental health advocate? I don't know. Apparently she's not taking her Adderall because it makes her clench her teeth. Oh, wow. You know, it makes me grind my teeth and chip off pieces in my sleep. PTSD, stress, BPD, the trauma of living through being raped over and over again in my sleep because I have PTSD flashback dreams that put me right back in the middle of it. Also, Courtney's just crazy. Courtney is just psychotic. Courtney is just this, that, the other thing. Meanwhile, I'm unmedicated and I'm well, is she unmedicated though? Because she's also fucking bragging about being on oxys apparently. How those oxys treating you there, Lily? Are they still heavenly, you fucking opioid addict? Aren't government sanctioned for canine units and police and military? Mostly, like they do have their own breeders, but still. That's what I like about my job, since we don't actually sell the animals, we work at local shelters. Yeah, that's what a lot of the pet stores do here. The pet supply stores is a lot of them will either like especially the big one, like there's one big chain one, it's called Pets Unlimited. They used to have all kinds of animals. They don't anymore. So typically what they'll do is because a lot of their stores are so big and do actually have space to house some animals, the SPCA will take like their rodents that they have for adoption and basically put them in these pet stores because they have more space, therefore the shelter can take more. And then like they have little signs on them that are like, you can adopt me and take me home from the SPCA, which you can actually do at the pet store. Like, so they work closely together. Yeah, Ghost Kitty, that's the opium. Sorry, oxys, which is opium. Yeah, Lily claims that she was on oxys for a bit. She also apparently claimed that she was on Adderall. Apparently she's not taking it anymore because it makes me grind my teeth. Yeah, government meth will do that. Meth will make you grind your teeth. There's a lot of stimulants that'll make you grind your teeth and like make you want to chew. That's why we used to carry around coffee stir sticks when I was homeless and we were doing speed a lot. Otherwise, you chew the inside of your cheek or grind your teeth, so you just chew on a coffee stir stick. Have I ever been to a cat cafe? No. All the ones that open up here close down pretty soon. Wait, 1 minute she claims to not be on medication and she hates it, but the next, this Oxy is heavenly, which is it, Lily? Meanwhile, she's like calling me a drug addict. Like, Courtney's a meth addict. Meanwhile, you're on government meth. Courtney's a heroin addict. Meanwhile, you're on opioids. Okay. I've done meth once in my life because somebody told me it was something else and then told me it was meth after I had already done it. And I don't touch heroin or crack. Like the big three I stay away from because like I actually understand drugs. Adderall just makes me cry when I'm coming down. It sucks. I hate it. You shouldn't be coming down. Your city has three. Come tour them with you. Oh, I'd love to. I also want to like open a cat cafe in my in the future if I can. But anyway, um, what was that medication even for? Like not for Lily, just generally. Oh, oxys. Oxys are painkillers. Most opioids are painkillers. Maybe she's just not on psych meds, but the hypocrisy is still blinding. Courtney's a drug addict! Meanwhile, Courtney doing the two most common drugs, right? Yeah, oxys are opioid-based painkillers, which is where heroin comes from. All opioids are similar. Calling Lily a heroin addict if she takes oxys is valid. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you got government-grade heroin. Well, no, that's methadone, but it's like when she's like, talking about her Adderall. It's like, Lily, that's government-grade meth. Opioids are painkillers, but they're addictive, and also people are more likely to die from constipation than opioids ODing. That's not true at all, my dude. Opioids, like an opioid overdose takes a lot of people's lives. Opioids are like one of the worst substances you can get physically dependent on and addicted to because opioid withdrawal can and will kill you. Like more people die from opioid withdrawal than they die from ODing. Also, you can overdose and not die. Like overdose doesn't guarantee death. Most drug addicts that are like heavily into their addiction, especially ones on opioids, have already OD'd 3 or 4 times in their life. Oxys are stronger than morphine, but they're derived from the same thing, Pinky. They're all derived from opioids. Anytime I hear meth, I think is that all I can think of is that one quote from the class of '09. Ooh, meth. Look at me, busy as a bee. Where did I get all this energy? Ooh, meth. Ooh, meth. I say ew because I can't handle pills. That's why I have to use chewable headache medication. Well, I mean, by the time you're not really taking the pills. You're typically crushing them up and either smoking them or injecting them. Oh, you're on methadone, Pinky. That's fucking. That's a hell of a battle. That's another thing is like there really isn't any sort of actual path off of heroin, to be quite honest. Like opioid addicts specifically have a really rough go at getting off, like dealing with their addiction because like for the most part, the medical through line is they made a song about meth. It's from a PSA. The medical through line for opioid addiction is, oh, you're addicted to opioids, here's some methadone, have a nice day. Like, they don't really deal with the addiction, the physical dependency. It's more often, it's just traded onto government heroin, which is what I call methadone, because uh, what methadone does is it mimics the high of heroin and it mimics a lot of the physical effects so that the person who's taking it, their body doesn't literally shut the fuck down without these substances or these effects happening. And yeah, they will like start you on a certain dose and then taper it down, but there's a good portion of these people that once they're tapered down to a certain amount, it's just, well, here you go, have a nice day, your addiction is cured. And like their addiction's not dealt with at all. They've just switched it to a more socially acceptable substance that the government's willing to provide, which sucks. Like I've got some not great opinions on active skin poppers, but at the same time, like I do understand that it's not an easy thing to deal with, and like for the most part, the best case scenario for your average heavy opioid addict is a lifelong addiction to methadone instead. My psychiatrist put me on a non-stimulant ADHD pill and it works great. It also doubles as a blood pressure pill. Refused to put me on a stimulant until it was proven the non-stimulants don't work. I mean, that's fair. It's like a lot of horrible cases of opioids are linked back to GI issues and as causes of death. Phrased wrong. I'd have to look into that myself because to be honest, I would gather, like I'd be willing to bet that that has more to do with covering asses than you think. There's also the fact that like those GI issues are probably caused by the opioids. Like if you snort shit for years, you're going to deteriorate the inside of your nose. And if you do it long enough, you can deteriorate your entire fucking nose and you're never going to get that back. Um, you know, the medical documents aren't going to say you lost your nose to cocaine. You probably lost it to an infectious disease or flesh-eating bacteria or some sort of like other medical term, but everybody knows that you lost your nose because of cocaine. It's kind of like saying, nobody's ever died of AIDS. They've died of complications due to AIDS. Like the average thing that takes out somebody with full-blown AIDS is actually the flu or pneumonia. They don't die of AIDS. Like we still know that AIDS has taken that life, whether that was like the very last thing they were dealing with before they died. A lot of addicts actually don't taper. Sure, fine, here you go, even with pregnant women. Yeah, because like that's the unfortunate thing with a lot of opioid addictions is it's just the through line is just get them on methadone and then at least we're getting the money. So it's just government grade heroin. And it's like the implications of that are sad too because it's like the system's already given up on you, so why would you even bother trying? Yeah, they usually call it AIDS, like complications due to AIDS. Yeah, because like technically the thing that takes you out is like whatever infection your body can't fight off because of the AIDS, but it's still socially known that that person died of AIDS. Because without the AIDS, they wouldn't have died. So like yeah, the GI tract the problems may be what caused their death, but without the opioids, the GI tract problems wouldn't be there, so it's really the opioids that did it. So I don't understand why Lily would brag about this. I don't, because she's trying to sound edgy and cool to fucking teenagers. Because somehow somebody got this idea that Courtney talks about what she talks about to be cool with teenagers, and Courtney smokes weed. So now like Lily's casually dropping the popping pills because you'd be surprised to find out that more teenagers abuse pharmaceuticals than they do weed nowadays because pharmaceuticals are romanticized, but weed isn't anymore. Um, So yeah, she's just trying to do the cool, like, oh, I pop pills, I abuse pharmaceuticals, I'm cool, I'm hip, I'm with it. My sister's just a junkie, but I do oxys. There's a weird like cultural dissonance between like people who abuse pharmaceuticals and people who just do recreational drugs. Like there's a certain group of people who abuse pharmaceuticals that think they're better than like recreational drug users because their drug's real. Like yours was synthesized in a lab and mine grew off the fucking ground. Sure, go off, queen, but it's like people take the fact that I've done cocaine in the past 2 years to be like, oh my god, Courtney's trying to seem fucking cool. No, I came out the gate going, yeah, I'm a recreational drug user. What of it? That's my business. What I'm sticking in any of my orifices is my business. That makes no sense. What makes no sense, Hailstorm? Yeah, hungry though. I have to go soon. Well, if you wanted to sound hip, you talk about how you vape, right? Oh my God. Like all the kids are vaping nowadays. I don't like vapes. Vapor's water based and I can't do it because it makes me choke. So like you don't choke on bongs, Courtney. I choke on a lot of things, but it says yeah, 10,000 milligrams of Benadryl is safe and cool, sure. We did that in my day too. Fucking they did that in my boyfriend's day. We call Excuse me. We called it lean. That recreational drugs aren't as cool as weed. That's not what I said. I said pharmaceuticals are more romanticized than weed is. I said that more kids are actually abusing pharmaceuticals than they are smoking weed. Because first of all, most of them vape instead of smoke, because vaping is big. Like the average flower smoker of like pod is actually dying out. Um, like yeah, kids like youths, I guess I should say, are more likely to be like fucking with oxys or Dilaudids or fucking Benadryl. Oh, sorry, you mistyped. Yeah. And like I don't know, like I could be wrong, but it just feels like Lily tries to push the I fuck with pharmaceuticals because like they made it in a lab, it's totally safe. Oh. Yeah, I'll take the plant that I grew in my own yard. My dad balding or nah? I don't know. He wasn't. He had a full head of hair up until I left. Meant to say that pharmaceutical drugs are seen to be cooler than weed. It's just okay, so like it's they're seen to be cooler because they're more taboo, right? Like it's not the substance itself, it's the energy around it. Look back into Prohibition days. There were actually more people trying to drink than ever during Prohibition because there's just a weird thing in the human brain where the second you say no, a small tiny part of you goes, but yes, but yes, but yes. So like when society kind of came around as a whole to the like, it's weed smoking, whatever, who fucking cares anymore? Just make it legal, kids. Like once that happened, you basically like as a whole society kind of stopped saying no to weed. We just kind of slapped a fucking age on it, and instead of going no, which caused a lot of people to go, but yes, now the big thing is don't fuck with pharmaceuticals. So now it's no, but yes. I was literally insulted for being an ex-addict by a Benadryl addict who posted shit like I relapse on my pink aesthetic pills, guys. Oh my god. My grandfather's, male pattern balding's actually a mother trait that comes from the mother side of the family. Yeah, Hank went bald inevitably. Did Jerry go bald? Did Jerry Charles go bald? I'm trying to remember now. I think his hair was thinning by the time he died. Like how some people stopped drinking absinthe once it became legal. Exactly. Because like the taboo was taken away from it, but yes, the forbidden fruit aspect. Exactly. It's the second you say no, you've romanticized that thing because now people are going, well, why not? Now I'm curious. Now I want to know. Now I'm going to spend time building it up in my head that I think it's going to be this big thing, which is going to push you to do it. It's kind of like with like quitting smoking. There's a common tactic of instead of telling yourself, I'm not going to have a cigarette, you say, I'm going to have one later because you haven't actually said no. So you're not romanticizing the act of having a cigarette in your brain in that moment. The brain's a really fickle fucking thing. But yeah, anyway, I think I'm gonna cut it here. I'm gonna end the stream and go feed my cats and see my boyfriend and eat food. I told someone not to do LSD because they had psychosis. They literally did it anyway and rang me the next day because they had a horrible time. Yep. You're not gonna get high on aspirin, you're just gonna destroy your liver. Don't do that, everybody. Okay, and with that, TikTok has ruined my night, and I'm going to take off now. I had fun hanging out with you guys. I hope you enjoyed yourselves and going over that video. Smooch! Hearts. Bye, everybody.